If you've ever felt like a first responder for putting out fires, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Live Trading TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Before we get to mice down, drinks up time and start enjoying our weekend, got some more money to make out of the market. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I got 13 in the back. We're ready to roll. Let's do it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right. Welcome back. X-Sniper, I've got good news. Yes, you were first today. Congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and give you a one-up for being the first chatter here. Happy Friday. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Hello and good morning to everybody else. Jay, Obadi, Dom, Jesse, Aura, Zippity, AC2000, and Elon, and everyone else that's going to be there. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Let's go ahead and bring on 13. 13, how you doing today, man?
I'm ready to have the weekend. How about you?
I am ready to have the weekend too. Your shirt Feast has instantly made me hungry, and feast mode. I am at the. I'm nowhere near the end of my fast right now, so it's very unfortunate timing for me. But we're going to battle through it, and we've got stuff to do, or we got money to make here first. So let's go ahead and bring up the SPY. I think one of the first things that I want to mention is that these last three candles are all red. And the volume candles are red, and somehow the market is higher. So really, yeah, I mean, it's obviously the overnight session. We've talked a lot about that. We've talked a lot about that in the past. So anyway, here we are with the SPY. We're still above the trend line. We're actually lower from yesterday, substantially lower from the close yesterday. So really, I guess the question is, which direction do we move? Do the buy the dippers step in post rate cut, or do we actually pull back a little bit more? 13, you got any levels or thoughts on this that you want to share with the group?
Well, looking at a smaller time frame this morning, it seems the market's going to be a little bit weaker compared to yesterday as far as the open goes. We're actually beneath a previous all-time high, the one that we made a couple days ago, 568.69. So if we continue down, then I'd be looking at the previous all-time high levels and see if we continue to lose support from there. We have 566 and 58 cents, and then 565 and 16 cents. Before we start really getting down to the 561 area where we've been getting support throughout the week, and at least for the past few days, that's been a big support level at 561. So if we start leaking down and get down to that level, I'd be wondering if we're going to end up falling through it, since the more you hammer some of these levels, eventually they can break down, and we'll see the price go underneath them. So just looking to see what happens today. If we go higher, we have that the all-time high that we made yesterday at 572 and 88 cents.
Okay. Really good stuff. Let's roll through some of the movers. Did want to take some of these comments here. You got this, Ryan. Just think how good you'll feel at the end. Hey, I feel good right now. The way I handle adversity is by joking about it, just in case we haven't realized that. So I'm good. Happy Friday to everybody. It is going to be awesome. That's for sure. Okay. What other? Jay, I saw this one earlier. Really like this VKTX. Kramer hated it at 53. He loves it at 68. VKTX, of course, trading above 70 here this morning. That was a really, really good play. Really, really good play. And then Lion Atlas saying, I don't trust this rally. Lion, I haven't trusted several of these rallies, so I'm with you on that. But today we're gonna make the best of what we can do. Now, let's cover some of the movers, and then we can go back and cover any of the charts that you folks want to take a look at, or any of the stocks, I should say, that you folks want to take a look at. Let me go over to my movers tool here, and we'll start with the top of the list. First one here is going to be LFly Holdings. This is ticker LFLY. Let me actually go to a 1-minute chart here and zoom out a little bit. We popped after hours. We actually tried to pop again here in the pre-market, although we resolved a little bit lower, not terrible. And recently here, we've popped back above the VWAP. We'll see if we can build and move away from the VWAP. I was looking at the news here, and I really didn't see anything fresh that was driving that aftermarket pop here on LFLY. So 13, you got any thoughts on this 2.5 million float stock?
Yes, this is what I was asking, if there was any cannabis news this morning, because this is a cannabis company, and that's what I was looking for in terms of news. Don't see any, so not sure why we're getting this movement. But you did point out that the float is under 2.5 million shares. So it is going to be easy to move around. Company does have cash, even though it's not quite profitable yet. So I don't think there's any risk of them making an offer at this moment. Company seems to be doing okay. Otherwise, I just don't know what it's running on. So if we get some movement here, we'll just be looking at some previous levels in the pre-market. I think 440 is the current high in the pre-market. So once we open, we'll be looking to try and capture the movement all the way up there, unless it happens right now, because it's really starting to get going as I speak. But it just recaptured the VWAP. So that's what I'd be looking for in LFLY, just to get to 440 and see what happens after the open.
Okay. Purgatory Park saying, agree. Why with New York cannabis? I don't think I understand that, but it seems like it was related to the cannabis call that you're mentioning. Anyway, okay, LFLY, pretty good. We'll see if we get any trades here on that. Now, the next one, this might be a little bit more exciting, maybe, question mark. We'll see. This is ticker BNZI, Banzai International. Now, a couple of things here. So first of all, again, with the news, didn't see any fresh news, right? Yeah, all of this stuff was from yesterday morning. They did have a reverse split in order to regain compliance. So this was actually the news that we got. So this actually fits into our reverse split category. When we take a look at the float here, float's about 28 million. So this is a little bit more than some of the other ones that have really kind of ripped, but this one might go here today, plus 74% on that news. 13, do you have anything here on BNZI? Or I should say, what do you have here on BNZI?
No, that's what it's moving on. That's the whole theme of this reverse split, regaining NASDAQ compliance, and then seeing these things run. That's what's happening here with BNZI. They did a reverse split yesterday. That's when that went into effect. I don't have the I'm not sure how accurate this new read is. I had to get it from a different site because we haven't updated our float yet, but it seems as though they have about 500,000 shares in the float now post reverse split. Company still does need cash though, so I think there might be a risk of an offering coming here with this company. But aside from that, it's going to be really easy to push around. I don't think I noticed any significant short interest in this company now. So yeah, it's just going to be they just had the reverse split. It's running on that theme. Be careful with this one. I think they might raise cash. I just don't know when, but they do need it.
Okay. And then, I know the chart here, we popped up towards 9 and we've really kind of pared a lot of that back. We're holding right here at 5. We're actually almost $1.50 below the VWAP. So I actually really like to see this come back to the VWAP first. I'm not going to just grab this right out of the gate. I want to see how some of these names trade right at the opening print here today. So good stuff there. BNZI. Next one on the list here is going to be TNON. This is one we've talked about recently. That's TNON, to Nonmedical. To Nonmedical shares trading higher after the company announced the issuance of 3 notices of allowance for patent applications from the UPSTO. I beg your pardon. Okay, patent news here. We traded up yesterday in the after hours. We popped higher above 9 here today in the pre-market. We've since bled back those gains and used VWAP as resistance. So pretty clear on the trading angle here. If we're going to have any type of decent long side trade here, we're really going to need to take that VWAP out here on TNON. I am encouraged to see that when we've really kind of come into this 650-ish level, we really haven't broken it. We've held it so far. So I would imagine if this continues into the regular session, we might have something here. 13, what did you have here on TNON?
I can't help but shake the feeling that I've seen this news come from TNON before. I might be wrong about that, but it just seems familiar. Aside from that, it's, we've traded this one before, actually quite recently. Floats 443,000 shares. It's going to move around. If the news is actually new, then that might help move this around some more. But I just look at the previous price action on other days we've traded this, and probably end up expecting much of the same thing. I don't have levels in front of me for this, but it looks like $8. It might be the next upside target for this one, but we have to recapture VWAP. So if that low float starts to help move this stock around, then be looking for a recapture of VWAP, and then towards 8 if we're headed that direction. Yeah,
last time we had a really big pop here in the pre-market. This thing just bled the rest of the day. So again, be careful. Wait for the setup. Don't try to front run the setup. I think that's probably the best piece of advice here for Friday. Okay, next on the list is going to be GDHG. This is Golden Heaven Group Holdings. I don't think I have any idea what this is, to be quite honest with you. We did pop above 6 here. We've really kind of bled back some of those gains. We did have a secondary pop that was on some pretty good volume. So if we have another, maybe we'll get a alongside trade here out of this one. I don't see any news for this one. I didn't check for splits on this one. Did we have a recent reverse split? Nope, don't have anything there. 13, you got anything on this one? Really low float, 3.6 mil.
Yeah, I'm getting some different metrics on this. Like the short interest and the float is actually. Oh no, I'm sorry. You're right. It is that 3.6. The short interest on this looks like it might be a squeeze, but I don't think that that's correct either. I couldn't tell you exactly why this is moving, and I didn't really cover this one. This might just be another one of those China pumps. This is a one of those type of companies. I don't see really anything on the balance sheet that's worth getting excited about. The income statement I don't have any data on. So China pump, be careful with this one. I'm not sure what it's going to do, but if it provides setups, we'll surely take them.
Yep. I mean, I'm not sure why this one's really kind of gapping here either. Maybe if this comes into 350 and holds, we can get a trade there. But again, we'll kind of watch this. All right, next one here is going to be one that we are all pretty familiar with here this week. This is going to be GLMD. So we've actually had 2 pretty decent moves on this recently this week. It is trading up here in the pre-market. We'll see if we get another move on this one. I wouldn't just take it to the bank that this is going to happen here. I'd kind of wait this out, just like some of these other names. But GLMD, is there anything new that you wanted to cover from this one? I know we've talked about it quite a bit this week. You might not have anything else on here.
I didn't really even bother to look to see if there's anything new. This is still got a lot of eyes on it. So, and it's got a 625,000 share float, so it's going to move around pretty easily. If it provides setups, and we can, it looks like we're going to be able to make some money out of this. We'll trade this. Just might need to be a little bit patient on this one because it looks like it's trying to take off right now. So I wouldn't want to be jumping into it here. I'd probably want to wait for it to set up again because it looks like it's about ready to take off from the current setup.
Okay, good stuff there. GLMD. Next here is going to be Nike. Now, Nike does have some news here. So Nike popped yesterday in the after hours while we were on happy hour. Nike shares trading higher after the company announced Elliott Hill will take over as the new president and CEO. John Donahoe will retire from his position. So we actually had someone in happy hour that was kind of calling for this, which I thought was pretty appealing.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Hey, when they replace the CEO, the stock should pop. Well, that's exactly what we got. So the next question here is going to be, do we continue to move higher after this pop? Here's a look at your daily chart. We are in this gap. This gap doesn't fill till 93. So if you think that we're going to fill this gap, we definitely have 6 points of upside here that you might be able to capture. 13, your thoughts here on Nike?
Well, filling that gap would be absolutely wonderful. So, and I think it's something that could, it's entirely possible. It would also be pretty interesting to see the gap fill because that would mean that we're going to have a test of the 200-day SMA. So we're going to likely get that before we fill the gap. So that'll be something to watch for. And that will be at 93.21 that we get to test that at. So just before that gap fill. With the, there are still a bunch of headwinds for this company, especially since there's question about how much growth they're going to have, being that China's sales aren't really working out and competition is really starting to move up. Another thing about this chart that I see is that the RSI is pretty extended. So don't know exactly how much more upside there is going to be today with the change of the CEO position. That's certainly going to give it a little bit of an elevation. But I think that maybe towards the end of the day, you could see some more selling as this is going to be pretty extended. Just even up here before we have the open. So just something to keep in mind that we are pretty extended up here.
Yep, no doubt. Okay, that pretty much does it for the movers. You didn't have any other movers that I didn't cover yet, did you?
There was a couple that I think that's just a quick mention. BATL, there's nothing there. That's an acquisition. NBY, they are selling their Avanova assets. I think that might end up being a future catalyst where we could get even more price action. So not sure how much we're going to get out of NBY today, but it's something I'm definitely keeping an eye on. And that's really all the other ones that we're moving. And I know that some folks are eager to get to some of these other tickers, so let's jump into those.
Okay, let's do it. Let's take some tickers here from the chat. First one we're going to take a look at is CEG. It looks like this is Constellation Energy. Jay, you were mentioning this one earlier. It looks like Jay Harris, you're also kind of looking at this one. Constellation Energy shares trading higher after the company announced it signed a 20-year purchase agreement with Microsoft. Okay, that sounds pretty good here. Stock closed about 208 yesterday, 234 here in the pre-market, trading up here. So I guess the next thing is, do we keep moving? Do we keep running out of this area? Do we take out these all-time highs here? I have that at just about 237. What do you think here on ticker CEG? And if anyone from the chat has a trade plan here on CEG, I'd like to know. It looks like Jay Harris, you were asking if this was a potential pullback. Well, first of all, sorry, 13, real quick. As far as your pullback question, I could see people taking profit on this if they were long yesterday. So maybe we do get a little bit of a dip. I'm not sure how much we pull back here. Sorry, 13, didn't mean to run you over there.
Yeah, so I would think that maybe that's that likely to happen. We are actually testing the all-time highs back from May 24th. So I would, and we're also very extended. The RSI is at 77, almost 78. So we're pretty extended there as well. I think that we would come back in a little bit, but after that, sure, we could continue to go higher. I think that that's going to end up helping lift the company's stock some more. But after this movement that we got this morning, I think that we're just extended. We do need to cool off a little bit. For support levels, I'd probably say maybe 220 could be one of them. That's where I would be looking at first. I'm not saying that that's going to be where it reverses, but that's where I'd be interested in maybe starting a position if I was going to go long on this for the long term, like a year or more. But I don't know a whole lot about this company, so take that with a grain of salt, but it seems like if we were going to get some pullback, I'd be starting to look at 220.
Okay. And then the other one that was mentioned with this, good morning, Craig. Good to see you. You were saying OKLO moving with the CEG news. OKLO. Here you go. This, I will say this. So this looks like this is popping here in the pre-market. You're saying it's popping with the Constellation news there. Sorry, not sure why that's not loading there. There we go. B. Riley this is actually yesterday in the afternoon. B. Riley initiates coverage on Oklo with a price target of 10. Here's the one thing I will say about this. I've tried trading this one recently. This has been kind of a tough go trading OKLO. So I'm curious to know what you folks are trying to do with this one. I'd like to see it get above that 50-day moving average at 737 here in the pre-market. We're at 711, so we'll see if we can come up off this bottom. I've not had success trying to trade this one in the past, but if it sets up again, we'll give it another shot here today. So
it does kind of seem like it's flagging a little bit. And it's at the moment, it's I'm looking at the 5-minute chart. It's trying to recapture VWAP. So this, given a little bit more volume, this could start to move upward. We need to get through that VWAP. The MACD is starting to curl, so that's encouraging. I just would be watching for volume expansion. Don't know when we're going to get that, if it's going to be inside the next 7 minutes or after we open. But this is setting up to move bigly over VWAP and kind of take off. It's setting up to do that. I'm not saying it will, but it just need to watch the volume. We start getting that expansion, then I think, yeah, you might have a much better chance of going up to 756, which is the current pre-market high. After that, I don't have levels on this, but looking to the left, you can figure that out for yourself.
Okay. All right. What other stocks should we take a look at here?
Shawshank's been asking about JPM very patiently.
Yeah, you only have to ask once. You don't have to spam it 19 times. Here is JPM on the daily chart. We're sitting right under the 50-day. I don't think there was any news that I saw here this morning.
Well, when when I see this daily chart, it looks like we are kind of setting up to go lower. We lost the 50-day SMA, and we've kind of endured a 10-day recovery. Trying to recapture that. We've tried the past couple of days recapture, couldn't do it, still beneath it. And it looks like this is a bit of a bear flag that we have on the daily chart. So I think that if we're not successful in recapturing that 50-day SMA by the end of the day, we could be facing a lower print sometime next week. Maybe start moving down towards the 200-day SMA.
Okay, good stuff there on JPM. We can also talk about FedEx here. This was probably the big mover yesterday.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about some of these shipping stocks in the past as well. FedEx shares trading lower after the company reported worse than expected Q1 financial results and cut FY25 guidance. Also, Baird maintained an outperform rating on the stock, but lowered its price target from 340 to 320. You can see it actually had a pretty big gap down here, down almost 40 points, down 38 points, almost 13% here on FedEx. We've talked a lot about this. FedEx generally a comment on how the consumer is doing. We've talked a lot about the consumer tightening and weakening despite the market being at all-time highs and some of the other good news. Clearly, this is happening. We've actually had people from our community mention it, what they're seeing in their own lives on how the consumer is tightening. Carmen, who owns a little store, says she is seeing it. She's been very consistent with that as well. So I'm in the same boat. I definitely think the consumer is going to continue to weaken. As far as FedEx goes here, where might we go from here? What might the trade be? Well, FedEx gapping down here beneath the 200-day at 267. You'll notice here that we actually have a gap that we're in that fills down here at about 257-ish. Is that you might have? I got some moving averages kind of blocking that number. It looks like about 257. So maybe another 4 points here. I could see some of the downside momentum really kind of pushing this a little bit lower before we bounce. Maybe we bounce off that gap fill. Maybe we actually test this 243 support level before bouncing. What are your thoughts here on FedEx for a potential trade, 13?
Well, FedEx has the price action has been kind of trading in a parallel channel for some time now. I think about a year, maybe more. Probably looks like more at this point. So you can even draw this yourself if you use the peaks from the recent price action and the troughs from at the same time. You can draw a parallel channel and you see just we've been bouncing up and down in between that. And we're actually coming down to test the bottom of that parallel channel pretty soon after that news. Whether or not we fall out of this channel, I don't know. But that news, that earnings was not great, and they guided lower. And that was actually their worst EPS in company history. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure that we get support this time. They are raising prices, so they are trying to improve the loss there. But at the same time, I don't know that we're going to see enough robust support in the bottom of that parallel channel to stay within it. But I don't want to make any predictions there. I would just be looking at the bottom of that channel as a support level. I don't want to make any comment on whether or not we hold it. I just think that we're going to see some slowing down of selling once we get down there.
Okay. Next here, you guys are mentioning is going to be Lunar. This is ticker LUNR. So see if we can zoom in a little bit here. We are popping here just shy of 10. If we take a look at the intraday chart, you can see we really ran yesterday. We're doing a really good job holding this new level. So one of the things I'd be looking at for here on a trade is maybe this channel that we've made in the pre-market. Looks like 9-ish, maybe plus or minus 10, 15 cents on the downside, and then maybe 940, 950 on the upside. We break out of this channel, you might get something here on Lunar. Did we have fresh news on this one? Friday. It looks like we had some SEC forums, but nothing, notice proposed sale. Yeah, nothing really crazy here on Lunar. Well, we'll see how this one ends up performing. You got anything on this one?
The moving averages, like the 20 and the, I'm sorry, not the 20, the 50 and the 200 have been oscillating. So I'm not really sure that if we can, draw a whole lot from the golden cross we've recently gotten this earlier this month. It does bode pretty well, but if we are going to continue to move up, I'd want to start taking out those February highs. If you look to the left, we had that pop back then. I don't remember what the news was, but that took us all the way up into the 13 handle. So let's start by seeing if we can break out of 10. You draw a line at 10 and look to the left, you can see that that's been a very important resistance and support level. And now we're coming up to test it again as resistance. So I think that's something you'd want to watch for a break of 10. If we get above that and hold above that, and likely we're going to be going higher. We have about 30 seconds before the open.
I will get to ZVRA, Shaka. Just take a deep breath, bro. Take a deep breath and smile and calm down. We will get to ZVRA. I do really quickly want to mention here, part of the new version of Pro, we're actually introducing a new charting service. And 13, you were just saying how, you know, that pop back in February, we weren't really sure what it is. Well, the new charting service is going to allow you to overlay some events on it, which might make it very easy for us to figure this out. So pro tip there. Well, it's still, this chart is still in beta, so keep that in mind, but we're going to have some pretty cool stuff to do. Let's go over to the main workspace. Let's take a look at what's moving around here. And actually, let me turn this off. I added some of your moving averages here so I can help show what you're looking for. And before Shaka has a coronary here, let's take a really quick look at ZVRA. So this is popping here out of the open. We did pop on very small volume here in the pre-market. We'll take a look and see if there's any news here. Canaccord maintains buy, lowers price target to 22. Stocks currently at 850. Do with it what you will.
Here goes BNZI. Take us to VWAP, buddy.
Let's see if we get that here. Good stuff. I said I was going to wait this one out. No position here for me yet on this one. I'll let you know if that changes.
Getting a little bit of resistance at 540 from that, you know, when it sold off in pre-market. After its last visit to VWAP. So that's going to be one level to chew through. And then the next one will be at 580 before we hit VWAP at 597.
Crow took LFLY right here. This is right at the VWAP. So we got a couple of these things going.
Nice. This one actually trying to break a trend. Drawing it from some of these pre-market highs into the open.
This actually broke beneath its VWAP now.
Yeah.
But it's
got a lot of consolidation beneath it, so that's going to give it a little bit of a demand zone. You might see some buying there down at the 65 EMA, and it looks like that's starting to happen. We could get going here with LFLY here if we can just recapture that VWAP.
There's some size right there at 350 that they tried to take. We'll see if they got strong enough to take that there.
A little more volume, we should be able to take care of that. There we go.
Watch this battle right here. Bang! They took it. Do we go higher?
Now it's in the it's 358 that's in the way now.
There we go. Here we go.
We're gonna break this trend. It looks like just keep on with that volume, and it'll take out the slight high we made just before we opened, which was 371.
Crow question. I assuming if this continues to pop here, we're gonna get the money flying emoji that you like to give us. But another question here on a Friday. If this does work out for you, what beer might you be sampling? LFLY, as soon as I mentioned beer, this thing is dropping and pulling now. Careful. 330s, your intraday low, a little bit of size there. Bang, that's gone. Lower we go here. LFLY.
Now we're in the area of the demand zone. So if this doesn't hold up, then we're going down to, I would say, 293, 295, something like that. But this is where the demand zone is going to be, this consolidation. We should see the buyers come in, step in here and try to lift this back up. And ZVRA really killing it, though.
By the way, BNZI, this is starting to go here. What was the one that was killing it?
ZVRA.
ZVRA.
Yep.
Oh, Shaka's going to be mad at me again. What?
BNZI, perfect, right to the VWAP, just like we wanted. Might get a little bit of pullback here. Don't be afraid to take gains.
Okay, I'm flipping around too much. Going way too fast here. We're going to have to focus on one here. BNZI is the one. This is moving to the VWAP. 625 is going to be your target there. LFLY, man, that really broke down. That really broke down.
You don't have to go to it, but Glmd, that had a pop out of the gate to almost to 11 and got to 1098, and then it came right back in. We're pretty much back to start here with that one. All right.
Okay, we'll see here on LFLY. This is bouncing a little bit, but if this really cracks that, look out. Let's go back to BNZI. This is where the trade is here. 625 is the target. Let's see if we can get that.
And this, remember, LFLY had no news.
Right.
Tenon down out of the gate, getting support at 620. Oklo now going, looking for that pre-market high of 756.
BNZI coming back up to the VWAP. Do we snap this here?
Oh, yeah. I think this is going to 7.
Okay.
Certainly trying to get there.
It's trying. There we are above the VWAP now. BNZI. Actually, that was the wrong one. It should have been the one up because haven't rung the cash register on this one yet. Let's see if we hit 650 up now. Boy, we got a lot of stuff moving this morning. It looks like it's coming back into VWAP here. And it broke right beneath VWAP. See if it holds here. BNZI. Actually, I'm on a 5 minute. Let's go to a 1 minute and see what it's doing.
Yeah, so we want to, I mean, I have it still above my VWAP, just barely. It's like kind of testing it right now. So if it can hold there, then, well, now it's losing it. But if it can hold up there, then yeah, I still think 7's on the table. Otherwise, it's coming down to a bunch of these EMAs. $5 would be my next support if we start losing those EMAs.
All
Shaka
right.
saying SMR.
LFLY appeared back on the scanner. So if you take a look at this, it does look like it held that pre-market level and it's trying to bounce. 341 is the VWAP. I would say if you're playing this curl play, that 341 definitely got to be your sell point. Has not shown the strength to build and really move above that VWAP. What was the one SMR that Shaka was mentioning? Here we go. That is popping out of the gate here. New scale power. Good stuff. Alex mentioning that NNE is moving with that. I didn't see it on the
1125 might be the first stop for SMR. Could get a little bit of pullback once we hit that. Otherwise, we're going higher. So there's 1125 starting to get a little bit of a pull. If we can break through 1125, then 1215 is the next target to the upside for me.
Okay, really good stuff. T-Non getting mentioned. Boy, guys, there are more movers than I'm going to be able to cover here, but it's awesome because it looks like you folks are in that. What was the other one? ZVRA? That was, no.
That one, one came back in.
This double topped at that pre-market high and then straight up rejection. This is TLC style. Don't go chasing these waterfalls.
Oklo with the new, it broke out of the
T-Non breaking above the VWAP.
Perfect. That one too. It's $8 is what I'd be looking for with that one. Let's see, would it be? Okay, so BNZI still not the 7 yet, but holding above VWAP, so that's encouraging. Has a wall at 640. It looks like it's got to get past before we touch 7. And
LFLY, we're back to the VWAP here. Back to the VWAP here. We're actually slightly above it. Looks like there is some size at 345 on LFLY. Nope, rejected at the VWAP. There we go. Let's see if this challenges 345 here. Looks like it's kind of struggling with that VWAP.
Looks like T-Non's trying to push higher.
Thought I was dating myself with the TLC reference there, but that's okay. T-Non does look like it's trying to push higher here. Let's see if we take 720 out here to the upside.
That's the wall I'm looking at right now with this one. And let's see if we get past that. Then
SMR really strong here.
Oh yeah, there goes 1125 up to 1142. Looking for 1215.
Oh, guys, hopefully anyone trading LFLY, hopefully you did take those gains at the VWAP. We called that prior to that happening. Said take the thing here because it really hasn't shown that it has the strength to get above it. Sorry, 13. What are you looking at?
BNZI, just 5 cents away from 7.
Here we go. That was a really, really good call. Looks like that little kind of back and forth at the VWAP might have shaken some. 2.7 it goes. What's your next spot? Did it print 7 right there and then reject?
I think it's just shy of 7. I think it's 5 cents shy of 7. So we break through 7. I have 825 as the next target.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you look to the left, you can see how 825 has been an area where there's been some weakness in the. I think this was pre-market. Yes, pre-market. We had some weakness once it gets up to 825. So keep an eye for that area. We might see some selling, some pullbacks once we approach that level.
Okay, VKTX here still above 70, although it's unable to take out its pre-market highs. Talkspace, we talked about this one recently. Looks like this tried to pop in reverse. LFLY looks like it tried to bounce off that same support area again. So might get another move back to VWAP here. The one thing I will say about the VWAP, so far, it has not shown that it has the strength to get above it. But much like you were talking about earlier, 13, if we keep banging against this level without really kind of breaking down, there's a chance that this does move through it. You might get one of those tradable pops there. So just be careful. Understand it hasn't shown it yet. Doesn't mean that it can't.
Christopher Anthony, you're killing it, man. Look at that. And then look at Oklo. This is now getting closer to 8, 791.92. Almost there. Almost there.
I don't have that one on the soundboard yet. OKLO. So the last time I was trading OKLO was in like a 920. I think that was my entry. I ended up stopping out at like 880 or something like that. So I took a loss last time I was trading this one.
BNZI went slightly higher. 697 was the high that it's got out of the regular session. Still looking for 7. If it doesn't get it in this current candle, and we might have to wait a little bit for it to do it later.
LFLY still trying, man. It's trying to hold this area down here. It's been successful so far. The buying volume, the volume in general, but especially the buying volume has really contracted here. It has used the VWAP as resistance. Aura saying you're short pretty much right at the VWAP there at 337.
Nice.
I think that one might be the play here. We'll see if this breaks and goes lower. That's going to be it for LFly, at least until it can firm back up.
Oklo, knock on the door of 8. And Glmd trying to push above VWAP right now.
Here is Oklo. Let's see. GLMD, I don't have it on my scanner, I don't think, but let me bring it up here.
It needs more volume to get through that, but it was trying to push above it at that moment. Let's see, Tenon also still making new regular session highs, looking for 8.
Aura covering half of your short there. That was a nice job. I don't know how you guys short some of these really small names, but good on you. We'll give you a cash register ring for that. This is a good way to start Friday morning.
Absolutely.
Good way to start Friday morning, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely. Hope everybody's accounts looking pretty good off the the 11 minutes we've been doing this.
I just scalped BNZI so far for a little bit, and it's nothing really to get excited about, but have done a pretty good job staying away from some of these other names here.
Jay Rice, thanking Kramer for his comments on VKTX. Hope you're making some money there. I'm sure you are. Oklo into the 8 handle now.
Loved Jay. He hated it at 58, loves it at 61 or whatever that was, or 67 or whatever that was. That's Kramer for you. That is Kramer for you.
Yeah, but Oklo, that's now up to 810. This is our 3rd candle out of the open that we're in on the 5-minute chart. Oof. I think that we would want to you probably might want to take a little bit of gains here, wait for it to set up again. I don't know how much higher it's going to go up in this current candle, but usually after the 3rd one, we tend to get a little bit of a pullback. So that's
nice little volume candle here. I for sure, if I were in this one, for sure would have sold at minimum some of it into this move here. OKLO does look pretty strong. Keep an eye on this volume candle. See where this finishes at the end of this window. I've got this on a 1 minute. So we'll see where this candle finishes. OKLO still at the highs up here.
All right, I think we might get a little bit another push here with BNZI, still holding above VWAP, and it's looking like it wants to try to take 7 here, but got a little bit of several walls of sell orders here between 675 and 7.
On which one? Sorry,
this is BNZI.
BNZI.
Yeah.
I want to call it Banzai. I just can't help myself. Every time you read the ticker, I hear Banzai. It's Banzai, and we'll just call it that. Definitely seems like it's running into some resistance here at that 675 level. We'll see if we can push above that. CCJ, oops, I clicked on Nike. Didn't mean to do that. CCJ also higher here. You guys were mentioning LEU earlier, SMR, some of those nuclear plays. CCJ going with that as well.
GLMD
Exponent's that 13-cent penny stock. We don't really need that. Tenon lost its VWAP there. CEG from earlier looks like this is pushing higher here on CEG.
Oklo now pulling back in that candle we were just mentioning. It's losing 8, trying to hold it. All right, things are starting to go a little sideways.
Wiss mentioning Ride. Ooh, nice move off the VWAP here on Ride. Which one was this again, real quick?
Taking that one for a ride, that's for sure.
Super mobility app. Where is this though?
A lot of these that we were just trading, they're starting to pull. Be careful, folks.
This is like a lift. Is this in a different country? I can't remember where this one was. Ride.
All right.
Yeah,
All right,
Singapore. Singapore. That's what I thought. I just wanted to get it right.
LFly now with a second knife. So we're
that one's likely done then. LFLY on that one, right?
It might be done for now. Don't know about the rest of the day. This is just not the time to be in it right now. Wait for some bottoming to happen if we're gonna, and that might not be until later on in the day.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Or this was money. That was a money short there, bro.
Great one.
Money short on LFly right there.
Easy Java, you're not wrong. That's that poor guidance from FedEx was not great. Not great for the economy. Zebra downside halt. ZVRA.
So we have a couple here that just are not strong, not really doing a good job.
Nope. And BNZI kind of going sideways. Maybe there's a final push here to 7. Looking like it's coming right now.
Oh my God, ZVRA. Yikes. Yikes, that was bad. What a dirty move too. Just went right up to the pre-market highs and immediately flushed. Oh man, that's no good.
Yeah, looking like BNZI is having a bit of a tough time too. Oh, there we go. It's starting to move up a little bit.
See if we can break out of this flag here.
Yeah, let's see if we can get 7. Ooh.
There's a pullback to the VWAP.
Nope.
See if it bounces off the VWAP here. They're actually bringing in buyers, it looks like, right? Is that what yep. Let's zoom in a little bit on the chart there.
Oh, they brought a little bit of a wall there.
Yeah, they just ate it, though. They refilled it. Let's see if they eat it again.
Oh, I love fights like these.
Yeah, and they're actually walking it down here. Look out. See where that settles there. They walked that bid down, or that offer down, excuse me. Oklo did get above, or it was already above there. It's holding above 8. We'll see if this actually can take out the highs. Got that at 823. What happened here with my other computer?
Yep, what happened? This is where we're going to, in Oklo, you might see a little bit of weakness. I don't know that it's going to go down through VWAP. I can't say for sure, but I expect at least some kind of a pullback down closer to that area.
Yeah. I'm seeing pullbacks across the board here. SPY, market, small cap, seems like a lot of stuff lightening up here.
Except GLMD. This thing is absolutely popping through VWAP, and it might take out the intraday high of 1098. And there it goes. 1099 now. Holy cow. Trying to take out 11. There we go. Now it's 11. All right. BNZI losing VWAP. I'd have to wait a little bit on this one. If we do get some weakness, I think maybe down 575 might be a support area if we lose VWAP. TNON. Lose, not able to get a close above VWAP on the 5-minute chart. Been rejected all morning. May end up going lower. GLMD well into the 11 handle now and ripping.
Big move there. Nice little volume pop there. I'm not in this one, sadly. I wish I was. I caught this last time. I'm missing it right now.
That's missing it right now.
What's that?
You got green on the screen.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I just haven't really, like, I've got green on the screen, but I really haven't I can't get excited about any of the gains that I have. I'm just excited I'm not getting pounded out of the gate here. VKTX still holding near the highs. Let's see if 71.5 can fall. That can go higher here. Remember, VKTX has several price targets above $100, and its all-time high, I believe, was exactly $100. Well, let me get the exact value off this candle. Maybe it didn't actually print hundreds. I've got the high there, 99.41. So just 60 cents shy of that.
BNZI still holding its VWAP. Still looks like this thing wants to try and take out 7, but be careful. It's whipping around. GLMD, wow.
Alex giving you some insight here. Oklo portable reactors, highly improbable. The restrictions would be insurmountable. Good vocab words there, Alex.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's actually doing what we were looking for, getting to a little bit of weakness, testing that VWAP, and it's holding above it. So not sure if we're going to turn around. And, I don't know enough about this company. It's not something I would hold for the long term, but we are going to trade the hell out of this thing. You like that?
I did actually. I love the energy, frankly.
Look at this
That's
poll
one
in
of my favorite
GLMD.
parts.
Wow. All the way back down to 11 after hitting.
You said GLNG?
GLMD.
GLMD.
Sorry, sometimes my tongue gets in the way.
Yep, that's okay.
Lunar's a buy. It likely is. I mean, that's that contract's huge. But the day we got that, or the morning that we got that news, or the morning after actually, that was a good time to sell and then reload once we found a bottom. And it was that bottom appeared to be around 750. All right, BNZI next candle, still above VWAP. If we don't get a break over 7 here, then I think we would go down.
So you have several penny stocks on the list here. BNZI is really just a battle here at VWAP.
Chicago Realtor. I don't know about UPS as a swing. Maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm actually building a position for UPS for a much longer term investment. I think the dividend is pretty attractive with where the current price is, and I think that we're gonna. It's really come down off of its highs, so I think this is a good time to start building a position for a year or longer.
Okay. Catching up with the chat here real quick. Looks like you've been doing that already. Are we trying to go? Are we trying to bounce here on BNZI? I think this needs to take out 665 to really kind of prove it wants to go higher. Otherwise, I'd be worried about this kind of being a head fake. If I look at the level 2, I do see a little bit there at 660, but that's nothing it can't take. So it needs to make its decision right here. We're going to break beneath that VWAP. That would be the stop here on this day trade if you have it. And then upside again, I think 665 might be the level that sends it. Let me get that again here. Yeah, 665, 666. If you're superstitious, I'm sorry. We'll see if BNZI gets a bounce here. Wellness Matters saying short UPS.
Don't blame me on that one. I'm building a position into the weakness. So if you think it's going down, I'm right there with you. I have orders out to pick more up at 120 and 115. Go for it. Short the hell out of it. Give me my fills, my man. T9.
Yeah, RFID trader. That you're exactly right, and I understand that. The one thing that to keep in mind here is that recently that combination of things has seemed to send some of these junk names, let's just call it that, some of these junk names higher and give us trades for it. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. BNZI though, watches. I got VWAP at 634.
Yep.
And it looks like this is going for it. We'll see what happens there. 634. Break of that, we out.
Yep. All right. Well, what else is moving? Looks like T9 is trying another shot at VWAP. It has not been able to close a 5-minute candle above VWAP this morning. Maybe this is the one that does it. Got to get past 7 and hold.
Jay mentioning that the transport's getting, quote, destroyed, end quote, on FedEx, down over 500. So, Jay, I just, do you think that the FDX report, which is showing a weakening consumer, which we've kind of talked about, do you think that this might actually bode for some more downside? Or do you almost think that action like this might represent a bear trap? Just trying to get your opinion on that. AILE getting mentioned here. I didn't see that one on the scanner. Let's see.
Let's take a look at that.
I'm assuming you.
There goes BNZI losing.
Yep,
VWAP.
that lost that VWAP there.
Learning. Oh,
and a big pull now. Hopefully, you guys got out of that one. Oh my God! Hopefully, you guys got out of that one.
We talked about we did. We were waiting for. So hopefully, you guys took care of that.
The one thing though is like I know. We've talked a lot about how some of these work and how some of the different moves. Sorry, let me put it back up on the screen here. Here is AILE. We might actually take that high off. Let's go back to Banzai here real quick. That's the danger with trading some of these, right?
Yep.
That's the danger with trading some of these. They are volatile. We gave you this. We told you what to look for here. I really hope nobody got hurt on that one. We already had LFLY pull back pretty bad. I just really don't want our group to get hurt.
Yep. Oklo also coming back down. Man, that's what I was waiting for with this one. Now let's see if it can get some support at this area, since this is testing the pre-market highs. This is where I would think that it may get some support. I wouldn't suggest starting to build, buy it up right here, but just pay attention to what it's doing. And I'd like to see it, recapture VWAP, but the MACD does indicate that it's in the process of rolling over. So be patient with that one.
Yeah. We'll see here on OKLO.
TNON, another rejection of VWAP. So that's been kind of an ongoing theme with TNON this morning. But if you are trading this one thing that is it's setting up to do is having a much bigger breakout over the VWAP if it continues to hammer this. At some point, if it keeps trying to break over VWAP, it's going to get it. Just need to have that volume expand with it. Getting a mention on LICY. I saw this move.
Lycy?
Yeah, I saw this one moving yesterday pretty slowly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I saw this one moving yesterday. That's that battery play, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Let me make sure I'm not confusing this. Lithium-ion battery resource recovery. All right. My memory's not totally shot, 13. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, still got a few more years up in there.
Hey, James, 3 trades, 3 wins. Yeah, that'll be a good day. That'll get you and Chewbacca really, really excited about everything.
Like
BNZI, thank goodness for stop losses. Yes, Chris. Way to think about your risk. Way to put that front and center. That allows you to trade some of these risky things. Really good stuff there.
Yep.
Mark says, I got hurt small. Well, you know what? You protected yourself. You took a stab. You protected yourself. You can get over small little cuts like that, especially if you already had a big winner from earlier this week. So, again, really good discipline on stuff that's not working here, folks.
Yeah, Lunar's rolling over too. Not able to get to the highs from yesterday, which was 954. Let's see where this could end up. Maybe there's a bounce coming at 820. Not sure, but that's where my first level of support comes in. That's where I would think. So let's see what happens there down at 820.
Jay, appreciate the answer here. Probably too early to tell, Ryan, but the Fed doing 50, crisis level entry cut. Unemployment claims ticking higher. It could very well be the beginning of a slowing economy. I think that is a certainty, personally.
Yeah, they're late.
Yeah,
they were totally late. Look at the GLMD. This thing is trying to rocket into the 12s.
I'll tell you what, 13, we should have just focused on GLM, or I should have, maybe not for the group here, but I should have just focused on GLMD. We've already seen what this stock can do this week. This week, there were a lot of stuff moving around the open. I was probably too all over the place, but GLMD seems to be the best trader of the day so far.
Yeah, it's just really spread. Look at how this thing just kind of just goes all over the place. You got like 15, 20 cent spreads in this thing. Quite dangerous, but lucrative. Sales in your stores are starting to soften a line, Ellis. Hey, you giving us this information just like Carmen is. It's helpful to us. I appreciate it. That was a nice little one there. Oklo getting some support. Watch for VWAP recapture. Getting some support from that pre-market level. Don't know if I was mentioning that one, but that's about, it's just above 750. So let's see if we start to turn around here with Oklo. MACD still shows that this could end up going lower, but be patient with that one. Might start to turn around.
Fairchild saying Otani 50-50. Actually, I believe it was 51-51. That dude is an absolute unit. We are lucky that we were able to watch a player of such caliber. Webcoin, I tried to get to this one earlier. I'm sorry. We're not ignoring you. We love you here. CRBP being mentioned by Webcoin. We've traded this one here before. Wow. Do you see news? So this one, a huge fall off. Wow. What's going on here?
Investigate. Find out.
I don't see news. What on earth?
oncology. Well, let's see here.
I don't know. Yeah, there's got to be something news related. This stock's down 65%. I don't have anything on this one. Gosh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
What is going on? Does anyone know? Negative data on their obesity news. Why don't we have that, Crow?
Okay. I see. Okay. I see the obesity sector now. Okay.
Wait, you see the news somewhere?
No. I just was trying to understand like what this company does, and I thought it was oncology and cancer and whatnot, but they mentioned obesity in that as well. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just don't have that news showing up on our feed yet. But if that's what's happening with their trial results or whatever he's referring to, I could see this coming down. But man, that is one hell of a drop.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think this thing was also had some pretty high short interest too. So this thing might be just having the shorts pile into it. Could be a good trade, off the shorting. But yeah, sorry we couldn't give you some more information on that. Maybe we'll get a little bit more news later on. You can relay it.
Let me see if I can. Let me see. Sorry, let me try and reach out to somebody here.
Looks like Oklo is trying to recapture VWAP very slowly though. So the volume needs to be much better than this in order for it to get back up there. But something to watch for. EILE, no, SMR still needs to get back above VWAP. ZVRA still halted. Glmd got as high as 1260, pulling back now, looking for VWAP support. TNON still not getting above VWAP. Looking a little weak here this morning. Oh, wow. GSIW is halted to the downside. This thing has just been selling off all morning.
Let me get back. Let me get my head back in the game here. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here on CRBP. Webcoin, I'm sorry about that, man. I feel like we should have had something there.
What's the institutional holdings like ownership? Okay, so 90%. So institutions, in my mind, may have gotten some information about what's happening with this company that we're not privy to. So they may end up be the ones selling out of this. So that's a huge move down. I think that's what's happening. I could be wrong though. Maybe somebody else could comment on that or give us better information.
Also, part of the new pro update, we actually have a bulls and bears data pull, and we update this weekly when there's new content. So it says here that the bears say that CRBP faces significant risks that contribute to a negative outlook for the stock, particularly related to the efficacy and safety assessments of its lead candidates. So I'm almost wondering if the news that you guys were talking about, that data was about one of these leading candidates. It just wasn't good. I'm still trying to work on that one. Crow is looking to play this for a dead cat bounce.
Webcoin is saying the stock was losing weight.
Webcoin, you have a comedy show on Fridays, right? I can't remember where it's at. This actually is bouncing off the lows. All jokes aside here, 3 points up off those lows.
Yeah, I was seeing that the SPY is coming down. So let me just go back over here and see what levels we're running into here.
Yeah, I'll bring the SPY up here so we can take a look at that together. That did knife here, it looks like. Yeah, actually, that's getting bought back, though. NNE getting mentioned here in the chat. NNE, hey, great call. This actually looks like this might take out the intraday triple top here.
Yeah, so getting a little support around the area of the previous all-time high at 566.58. If this, if this recovers, I think that it may run into some issues just shy of 568. So let's just see what it does over the next several minutes. I'm not sure that it's this support is that robust, but it might be. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens.
Kenon held 650, tried to go back to the VWAP, couldn't quite get there, but might not be over yet. BNZI, this did bounce and come back to the VWAP. Let's see if we can clear that. I would not necessarily feel great about taking a trade here unless we get a volume expansion confirmation above this level.
No, I think that
there. Look at that. You didn't even really have time. You had to front run that.
Gosh, Brian, you just need to keep talking some more. Look at this thing go now.
This is going to halt here, 721.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, the time to get into that was the previous 5-minute candle when it was bottoming. But,
does Otani have a stock? Not yet, but if he did, that would probably be your leader because that dude is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Right, so little bit of rejection at 7. I don't think it's done. The volume is looking pretty good in BNZI. I think it could still push through that. If we do end up closing over 7, 743 is the pre-market high. That would be the next level to get through, and then 825.
So for anyone that was taking that BNZI trade, by the way, I was talking about that volume pop. Look what we did get. I know it happened too fast for me to get in it, but that clearly was the trigger. For anyone that was in this, definitely going to get some of those. That was a nice move. I definitely lighten some of your position here and book some of those gains. Really good stuff, though.
All right, Oklo having a hard time with the VWAP, still rolling over per the MACD.
LFLY continuing to pound lows and go lower. NNE above that intraday triple top. Ride compressing here along its VWAP.
Yeah, and LFLY, that's likely going to continue downward until, gosh, let's see, maybe around 250. I think that's where we might see some support next, but I really don't know where this ends up. The downside stops, but once you start seeing some basing later on in the day, that might be it setting up to go back up. But
Ride might be setting.
Yeah, with all the stuff we have setting up today and all the stuff moving, LFLY might be one of the things you want to pay attention to the least.
Yeah. Lunar getting a mention here. Lunar back towards its VWAP. We'll see if it can get above that. It's really used that VWAP as resistance. Maybe we get a BNZI like pop here from Lunar. No position for me at the moment.
SMSR looks like it's trying to turn around and go test VWAP again. Maybe break
is this SMR?
I'm sorry, SMR. Yes, you're right. Sorry. I think I
this actually, this right here at the VWAP.
So we get above VWAP 1125 is the next level I have, and then the intraday high of 1163. Need a little bit more volume expansion. MACD's showing that it was trying to roll over. Might negate that. We'll have to see. But volume needs to be better if we're going to break through that VWAP. What else are we looking at here? Looks like GLMD really having a hard time with staying above VWAP now.
NNE popped that high and came right back in. Didn't get the pop for a potential trade that you wanted there, unfortunately. XPON, that's just that 14-cent penny. I wish I could remove that. I don't want to look at that again. Duke Energy came back into its VWAP.
Oh, Duke Energy, I've just had that one forever. Strong utilities.
Jay saying Reddit and Affirm staying green after their upgrades. I don't know. We haven't looked at Reddit in a bit, have we? Still 65. Okay.
Look at that move in BNZI right up to 750. That was right in the right. It's like how we had in pre-market. Just went right up there to that level and got rejected. I don't think that we're down and out forever, though. As long as we hold VWAP, I think we could still go higher with BNZI.
Here we go.
Is it
Here we go.
I took it off my screen.
It popped like as soon as you said it could go higher, it popped up to that 720-ish level.
Volume's still okay. I mean, but yeah,
Mhm.
that 750, that 750 is the level to take out. And as soon as we get up to 825, like I was mentioning earlier, that's where it gets really slapped down, as you can see in the early pre-market.
Yeah, that 750 is going to be your next spot there for sure. BNZI.
Oh, thank you, Shaka, for the information on CDRA. I was kind of wondering myself why that was still halted, but it's halted for news. So that could be halted for some time.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily have to unhalt today. Halted news pendings, just FYI.
I mean, it's been a good morning already.
Yeah, it has.
I'm sure
It
you folks
has.
have had a. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't have a whole lot here, and let me take a look. At swing account is definitely down. So with the market pullback here, kind of coming in a little bit. Yesterday was super green though. Every position I had in my portfolio was green yesterday. Every single one.
Things slowing down a bit here.
Yep.
Have those stops ready. Maybe even raise them if you want.
Yeah. Look at BNZI. It's trying here, but if it can't get above this, it could easily come back to that 640 VWAP, and I mean easily.
Mm-hmm. SPY still trickling lower. Looks like we're going to test that previous all-time high of 566 and 58 cents. Crow mentioning NBY. This is when we were talking about earlier this morning.
Penny stock. Yep.
Oh, look at that. It's I'm a little concerned about this one. If it starts, if it goes back to $1, that'd be great, but it'd be absolutely killing a head and shoulders pattern. You can see it on 5 minute. And NBY, yeah, 5 minute NBY there, all pre-market. See that? You zoom in a little bit, you see the head and shoulders.
Yeah, this is your shoulder, head, shoulder. Yep.
Yeah. So that's why I would be thinking at 84 could be where it is going to have a hard time. 84, 85 cents.
Okay.
Although the MACD is showing that it's trying to push higher, but that's where I think the resistance would be in this one. Currently above VWAP. And I'm sorry, NEE looks like that's back above VWAP, trying to go higher, but it's slow. OKLO
LFly might be done.
LFly done.
Maybe. I don't feel great about it, so I'm gonna stick with maybe.
For me, LFLY is going to be one of those to watch for to see if it comes back later.
Okay.
But that's about it. I'm not going to, I wouldn't be saying, oh yeah, jump right into this thing. It's definitely coming back. That's something I'm watching for.
Skechers bouncing back a little bit after some of the news from yesterday. Skechers shares trading lower after the company discussed its near-term China challenges. That's from yesterday. It looks like we are getting a little bit of a bounce here today.
Yep, got that weakness in BNZI almost took us down back to the VWAP, but it is still recovering beneath $7 now.
Yeah, it's beneath $7, but it didn't break down through this VWAP. So as long as it doesn't just kind of hold in there, or as long as it doesn't break down, this could possibly push higher.
All right, we are at the previous all-time high support of 566.58 and losing it in SPY. Next
Corbus. Sorry. Crow, you were mentioning this one earlier. You did say this was going to dead cat bounce. That was in the 18 handle. Here we are, 22 prints on CRBP. Sorry, 13. I didn't mean to run you over there.
It's okay. 565 and 16 cents is going to be the next support level to the downside in SPY. That was a previous all-time high for a much more prolonged period of time than some of these other ones we've had this year.
I like this strategy here. Webcoin saying for CRBP, trailing stop loss might be a good move there. I think that's good strategy there, Webcoin. You love to see that.
Uh-oh. IMRX getting called out by Lynn and Randy. How's that looking today?
Which one? Sorry.
IMRX. I mean, it's about 40-cent move, but it has been up all morning.
Whew. Didn't this sell off recently? Let's see. Let's take a look at the.
I think it.
No, it had the pop here on Monday, and then it drifted lower. It did not sell off. It drifted lower, and now it's kind of coming back to that supply zone. This is right where we were settling, that 275 area, right after that pop.
How does GLMD look? It looks like it's trying to bounce. Get a recapture of VWAP, but the MACD still is saying that there's a potential for this to continue lower. I want to see a recapture of VWAP first on the 5-minute for GLMD. I don't know about getting into it right now, even though it is putting in some bottom wicks. That tends to be a good sign, but volume's just really not there quite yet.
SMR, so it looks like this is still trying maybe to get above its VWAP. We'll see if it's able to do that. It's not been able to yet.
Joshua's looking to get GLMD here. I think your exit you're looking for is 1140. I mean, that would be right to VWAP. So you could there's a trade right there. If you're looking for just VWAP, that's a good 40 cents from right where we are. But like I said, volume need some more of it. All right, what else is turning around?
PNZI did not break down.
No, it did not. It looks like it still wants that 7 handle.
Takes out 690. I think 7 is probably next.
AILE still sideways.
You know, ALIE is like not popping up on my scanner here. This is the second time it's been mentioned here today, and I don't see it moving at all.
I only have it on my list now because it was getting mentioned earlier, so it's just something I'm watching. But
yeah,
it's only been moved up less than 8%. So
really low volume on this one.
Yeah. Just have it just to mention it if it does anything.
Nike pulling back. VKTX couldn't get above 72. Banzai at that. Oh, it said it was at 690. Okay, so it just pulled off that 690. Actually, it looks like it tested 7 again there.
Yeah. Looks like OKLO is trying to make another move over VWAP.
I want to see this volume expand. This kind of low volume here, not the greatest.
Is that a 1 minute you're looking at? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this is a 1 minute.
Look at that. That's kind of interesting, right? With all the price action that's happening underneath your VWAP there. That looks like it's trying to go up. I mean, it could be an inverse head and shoulders. And if it
Wheeler is getting mentioned. Don't see that on my scanner either. Wheeler's down 12%. Did I misread something?
Well, I mean, it makes sense that it's down. It's had a huge run in the past week, right? This is the one that
that's the one that went crazy. Banzai maybe still, I don't know. I don't feel great about any of these. There's not a play out here I feel great about. NNE, you're getting mentioned here by the chat. That's at the highs. Wasn't in that one.
Wheeler,
SPY is bouncing a little bit.
Yeah, Wheeler is on the daily chart trying to hold the 50-day SMA. So maybe keep an eye if you're still trading Wheeler and you like trading it. Maybe keep an eye on it for a bounce today into next week. OKLO, that inverse head and shoulders appears to be resolving.
And through the VWAP, let's see if we can build here.
Looks like GLMD is also getting a little bit of support too, but I still want to see the volume improve in this one. Still beneath VWAP. I think some of these are starting to come back or trying to. TNON, this thing, oh man, this thing lost the 200 EMA. New
Banzai back at 7. Boy, this is a wild candle here on Banzai, really kind of testing the VWAP area and 7. See if this can move above here on Banzai. Be careful with this one. It's been difficult to trade. 750. Okay, here we go. It's starting to push. You did get one volume stick. I'd actually like to see another that gets a little bit higher here. Popped off again there on Banzai. We'll see. If this hits 750, I think this might go Banzai to the upside, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting whiplash from this one, aren't I? How about you? I'm like watching my head, like, oh, geez.
Yeah, no, I'm watching it. I'm watching it right here. Let's see if we can get back up there. This is, like I said, a little bit wild in this name.
Yeah, 720 break seems to be where we could really start to get some magic.
710, 720, 750 look to be the spots of note that are above 7.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Pushed up towards that 750. Oop, and there's your nasty pull. Oh my gosh, so wild. So wild.
Such fun.
It is fun. It is fun. No, the name of the company is Banzai. Name of the company is Banzai, and the phonetic pronunciation of the ticker there is Banzai. That's why we're doing it. Oh, is it going to halt here? No. Here we go down to VWAP, though.
That would, oh, man.
And look at that. Look at that snap. Oh, my God, is that nasty. Oh, my God, is that nasty. Now, remember, the last time we snapped beneath the VWAP and it really sold off, it did finally find some footing and rocket back up. I don't think you have a guarantee that that's going to happen again. So if you trade this, just be careful. Just be careful. Ooh, that was nasty. And that you got some selling volume in there. Lunar getting mentioned here. I guess we can wait and see if this recovers. Oh, look at Lunar up. So this, it looks like it tipped over out of the open, but rocketing to the highs now on Lunar. You think we test 10 on this one? Oh, nice job for those of you that are selling out of Lunar right here. Oh, love it, chat.
Great job. We're at, let's see, this is a newer high in the movement we've been getting lately. So hold on a second here. Okay. So 1075 would be my next upside target for this one. So to answer your question, it, yeah, could totally get up there, but you know, volume is going to get us there.
All about the volume. I'm with you on that one.
Nice
job. It looks like a number of people in our chat were selling out of that. Nice job.
Yeah, it looks like 950 was the big spot to get over. Now it's got to hold it if we're going to get the 10.
SMR, look at that. Really just wrecked and stayed beneath its VWAP. Until that gets above its VWAP, I would not trust it. SMR.
NVO selling off, says wellness matters.
Banzai looks like it's trying to recapture its VWAP. I have it recapturing VWAP based on its numerical values here, but we'll see if that has any type of strength. Looks like it's still battling there.
There is no try, definitely doing today. Absolutely. Great job on Lunar.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Look at GLMD.
Above that VWAP.
Well, it's trying to get above VWAP. It did print above there, but it keeps getting slapped down. Gosh, man, it had a nice pop too, but needs that volume to be consistent. Push through.
Look at the pull now. Look at the pull now.
Yeah. Looks like maybe not. I was going to say, hey, maybe Leafly's trying to find a bottom, but volume is awful. So
I mean, good luck if you try. It feels to me like you're just kind of guessing here on the bottom. This thing has shown no strength all day.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm getting at is wait for a bottom, but it looks like it's starting to find one. The selling has slowed and it's starting to put in a bit of a sideways action now. But
okay. OKLO at its VWAP right there. Some of these trying to come back. Lunar
NNE.
stopped at that high there. Sorry, NNE, you said?
Yeah, that's moving up slowly. Moving toward the high of 83.53. Not quite there yet, but getting close. GME is moving up. Any news? Let's see. Let's see what oh wow, it does have a nice spike. Let's see what this is all about. Maybe Roaring Kitty said something.
On which one?
GME.
GME. Oh, volume pop.
I don't see anything that made it go up this moment, but there is an article from earlier this morning that mentioned Roaring Kitty. Don't know exactly why it's moving up right now. What's the short interest like? 10% with 6.25 days to cover.
Yeah, and Chicago, I don't see any news on that one.
Yeah. Hey, if you were in this and you were trading it, well done.
Lunar new highs. Nice job, Robert.
Oklo.
Nice job, Robert.
Nice. Oklo still trying to get back up to 823.
Banzai still being rejected by its VWAP. It continues to test it. I see wicks actually printing at that level, continuing to test it, but just unable to get above it. Volume here at this point looking really, really depressed. I would say until something turns around here, this one probably not. Now, I said that the last time, and in a very, very quick hurry, we got the volume and we got the move above the key level. So it might be a difficult trade if you're trying to hit that if it happens as fast as it did last time. How are we doing on the market? Let me bring up SPY here real quick.
Still recovering after hitting
okay.
58 cent.
About here, you know what we can do? Let's actually go to really quickly. Let's take a market overview here real fast. No, it looks like more red and near flat than anything. Not really seeing a whole lot of.
Get it, Edward. Take Meta down. That thing is way too extended. That one needs to go have a
financials not doing well either.
That needs to have a date with its 200 SMA, a 200-day SMA.
All sectors in the red except utilities and is that retail XAR?
Oh wow, IMRX still
moving. That's aerospace and defense. I beg your pardon.
That sector has had a really good time, so
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to have some profits getting taken there. It still is likely going to go up some more too, especially since those geopolitical issues are not going away.
No, they are not. TNON here, that's continuing to move down. NNE, this is actually doing a really good job. This might take out its highs again here, 287. I don't know. AMLX getting mentioned here by Wiss. Wiss, you got any golf lined up for this weekend? Wow, this is actually a really nice move here. Amlix. Was this the interview that Zune did earlier this week? I can't remember. Sure, this is a pretty interesting daily, Wiss. Good on you. If this crosses this, what is that? Let me see if there's a better value there. Is that the actual value? It looks like 387, 383, 385. Your high in there would be into a pretty huge gap. If you're able to do that, this is an interesting mention, Wiss. Interesting mention.
Everything I'm looking at is starting to look a little weak.
Yeah, Robert mentioning XPON. I'm sorry I didn't really cover this. This feels like Mullen to me, man. It's a 12-cent stock. You're absolutely right. This is almost a double from the 12-cent level. Sorry for not covering these pennies. I generally kind of just don't even look at these. Banzai getting another mention here. Okay, we're trying to go back above the VWAP. Let's see if we can do it here.
See if we can take us back to 7. That would be
7, me bro.
Yeah. And we have a GLMD halt to the downside because it has knifed.
Uh-oh.
And here we go with BNZI. It's getting a little bit of expansion here.
Can I get you to yell Banzai just like at the top of your lungs if this thing really pops off? Like, can I? Or is that too much to ask?
No, you cannot.
Aram is saying I just got destroyed, man. Be careful with those stops. That's the best method I have of protecting yourself. Let's see what the knife looks like. Oh my gosh. And you know what it was? It was this low a day, or not this low a day, excuse me. This low from the previous pull here. As soon as it snapped that, this thing downside halt looks like. Is it halted? GLMD?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. I might not have update. Oh, you know what I can do? I can fix this. Give me 1 sec. I can fix this. I can fix it. There we go.
BNZI not doing bad. It's slow moving, but it's creeping its way to 7.
Okay.
Don't feel too good about a whole lot of movement beyond 7, but I could be wrong about that. The volume just starts to come in, but it just looks too slow to me.
I think you're right on that, 13. And the other thing that we've seen is that, like, when it starts to move, it like jostles back and forth. It has like a wild kind of candle right there in the middle, and we've seen it pull from that, and we've seen it pop from that. So it looks like both of those outcomes equally probable.
You know, Brett, that's a pretty good observation. I've seen some of these do the same thing as well. That's kind of why I was saying, oh, maybe LFly comes back later.
Yep.
Yes, they have done that many times before, where they just absolutely get hammered in the open, and then as they find a bottom throughout the day, they end up coming back. I don't think they normally go back to their open or higher than their open, but they do have some kind of recovery. You can at least try to get yourself out of there if you are trading it correctly. But averaging in is fairly bad for day trade. So usually the best move is to just stop yourself out, get out of it, and then wait for it to set up again and try to trade that way. But averaging in for day trades very, very risky.
And I mean, what Britt's talking about here with this knife, I'm like, you actually saw this on Banzai here, right? We popped right through the VWAP. We started, we held 550, and then it wasn't even an hour. In this case, shortly after, we ripped again on volume. Now, will this happen again? I don't know, but you do see this on a lot of them.
SMR, after going sideways for about, half an hour, it's making a move through VWAP. Looking for 1125.
Hey, there we go. Asset Market Sniper loves it. He's on it. He loves it. Giddy up.
All right. Looks like NEE just put in a new intraday high as well. GME not breaking down. It's actually setting up to go higher. That's going to be, of course, provided by the amount of volume it has, but for now, it's setting up for a little bull pennant here. The high to take out is going to be 2027.
CRBP back up here, 23. I gotta say, Pro, man, this was the call. This was the call here today. It looks like Anthony's out here partying with you, which you just love to see. This was a monster. This was a monster call. Huge move down. It is definitely moving up off the bottom. I think, Crow, you were talking about this in an 18 handle. So we're looking like 4 points of movement here from that bottom. That was well done. I didn't take this one myself, but that's why we love the chat so much. They're always out here helping out.
Got a shout out. There is no try exercising that discipline. He says 430's profit. That's enough for him today. This is great because when you've hit your goals, or if you've felt that you've done well enough and you're done, that's a win. That's a big win.
Yeah.
Go have a great rest of the day, or
and
the
it's
weekend,
Friday.
for that matter. Yeah.
I mean, go start your weekend. Start your weekend.
And don't force any trades after that. That's great discipline. Have yourself a great weekend, man. And thanks for sticking around with us.
Appreciate this, Crow. Sorry, Wiss. I may have missed this. Should have been shouting you as well, but really good stuff, team. Really good stuff.
Looks like Oklo still holding above VWAP. Watch for volume expansion so it can get back into the 8 handle, but that's what it's going to take to get up there. Looks like SMR kind of coming back off the high that not the high, but the movement it just had over VWAP, coming back underneath VWAP now. AILE, this thing is taking off. New intraday highs, 154.
I still don't understand why that's not triggering. Oh, because the volume's so low.
Yeah.
I was like, why is it not triggering on the triggering on the scanner? But it's just the volume. It's just the volume parameter.
And there's what I was talking about with GME. This is now making new highs. So it was just setting up with a little bit of a bull pennant, and it's now breaking out of it on this volume expansion. And
wow,
wonderful little setup there.
Wow, great job for those of you trading the trading GME here today. This was a decent move. I know we talk smack about this because we don't really understand what's going on here, but great move here today for those of you that were able to take advantage of this. Generally, just going to stay away from these.
I don't think you're going to have a hard time finding stakes with the week you've had. You've had a great week, from what I understand. Well done, sir. Looks like Glmd is open, trying to find a bottom here. It's currently getting us a little bit of support from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute.
Did Roaring Kitty post or something? Asks Steve. Steve, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't follow that, mostly because I don't understand the whole, Roaring Kitty thing. But if anyone else is out there and knows anything about that, let us know. It sure feels like it based on the move. I mean, the volume is not huge. It was on that initial stick. So something happened right in here. In fact, that stick, I show, this is a 1-minute candle. I show 4.7 million shares traded right there at that, what is that, 1020? Yeah. Looks like it's going to rain today. Oh, it's pouring actually already.
That's quite a little bit of a.
Well, I heard a fire truck going by. The skies looked ominous, and then I was like, "Yeah, it's pouring out there."
Is that what it is, Anthony Baker? That GME got a rating upgrade? That the one from this morning?
But this was a link from yesterday, wasn't this?
I mean, that might be it, but
I don't know. That intraday volume pop looked like something.
I feel like, yeah. We were. I think, yeah. Okay, thanks, Andy. I think we were talking about that a little bit earlier. That what this could be moving on, but it seems like this is a bit of a delayed reaction. Maybe that's just me. Good morning, Easy Mike.
Hey, Mike. Morning. I like Walter. I like this. Morning, Sensei.
Yes.
I like
Maybe
that.
He can say bonsai.
Yeah,
for you.
I like that. Oh, can Mike save bonsai?
No, say bonsai for you.
Oh. Well, look. Hold on. Mike appears to already, Sensei already appears to be a good luck charm, as since he's joined, this thing is up off the bottom. You might get me to yell bonsai if this thing really pops off here. Here we go. We're also getting that volume to expand here. Might be a little too early. Remember, so it looks like 678 here, but 7, 710, 720, 750 seem to be levels that it was stopping on the upside. We'll see if it gets there. Mike, I am going to credit you with this move. Okay, if this rips right here, you're getting full credit for that.
Well, they just brought a bit of a wall there at 670, and it got taken out. So ignore what I just said.
Look at CCJ. Yeah, no, we have been. All of the Jay, credit to Jay too, because the uranium names have been moving here all day. It looks like there's just no chill. Jay, some of the other ones that, LEU, that was you just typed it there in the chat. That was the other one here.
Oklo still creeping higher. Looks like it really wants 8, but okay, well, it's pushing up now. I think this gets 8, but still want some better volume than this.
Jay, mentioning LEU here, it's the only U.S. uranium producer. Jay, is this more of a long-term trade / investment for you, or are you basically just kind of trading the movements in LEU? I know that you've been watching this for a long time, so I'm almost wondering if you have a long time horizon on this trade or investment. Makes sense with it being the only U.S. Uranium producer. Just wondering how you go about that.
Crimp Biscuits mentioning GDGH for an afternoon run.
GDGH. I can bring that up here. GDGH. I must have got that wrong there.
GDGH. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything come up with that.
GDHG.
GDHG. Got it. Okay.
Tisk tisk, crimp biscuit. Tisk tisk.
Okay. Golden Heaven Group Holdings.
Jay, appreciate the answer here. I've been in and out. I bought it last week after the Korean deal at about 36. Wow. Well done, Jay. Well, I should follow you because I feel like for like the past year plus, you've just been complete aces when it comes to the uranium name, whether it was CCJ moving from a mid 40 to above 50 the first time it did that, to some of these other names. I know you've been talking about LEU for a while. Might have to add that into the toolbox here. The J uranium calls.
So with GDHG, I see where we could, what he's talking about, how we could end up with an afternoon run. It might be basing now. Still looks like it could potentially go lower, but if it does, 250 might be where the bottom could be in this one. I'll keep this on my radar for later, but if it's going to do anything, it's likely going to squeeze. This has, maybe I'm getting a wrong reading on that. It says the short percent of float is
which ticker?
27. This is GDHG. It says it was 27 on one side here, and then on my short interest tab it says it's 55%. They just reverse split recently. Let's see.
Let me check here for you. Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yesterday.
1 for 50. Okay.
And the reason it's different is, remember, the short interest tab has a 2-week update period, so problem figured out.
Yeah. So this is probably going to be one of those movers on the regaining compliance.
So you have something to put on your watch list, is what you're saying. Yeah. 13. Okay. I like it.
So yeah, the float is 3.6 million. It's kind of in that range of, being able to push around. So, maybe that could be right. Keep it on your radar. See if we get some movement later in the afternoon. Thank you.
Good stuff there, Jay. Appreciate this. LEU makes a lot more money than CCJ. The problem is it's thin and trades wide. Actually, given that, almost seems maybe better, more suitable for a longer investment. Anyway, Mike loves the GME move.
Yeah. I mean, look, I wasn't expecting to go high like this, but I was just saying it was setting up back when I was saying it was setting up. Didn't necessarily say it was setting up to, blast off like this. But hey, if you caught it, well done.
There is no try. Also mentioning a Palantir contract news. I believe we also had an offering news. Yep. Palantir falls amid report of a $10 million share sale. Now, it really hasn't broken down. In fact, it's only down 2% here. Here's the contract that you were talking about. Announces a $99.8 million contract awarded by DevCom, Army Research Laboratory. Remember, Palantir going into the S&P means that starting next week, I would imagine that there are going to be funds that are buying this. And my exposure to Palantir is to the long side. It was the butterfly, the December butterfly that Anne Marie gave out. That was 40, 45, 50 on those strikes. December monthly expiry. Palantir, not doing terrible here today, especially given the market and the rest of what's going on.
AMC getting mentioned, it's moving in sympathy with GME. I also thought I saw an article about how AMC is going to be spending a lot of money on theater upgrades. I mean, I think that's kind of ridiculous. I think theaters are kind of on their way out, it seems. I might be wrong about that, but it seems like there's a lot less participation in movie theaters these days.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, hopefully they turn their business around. It's been having a hard time for a while.
Crow called Banzai. It popped up and then immediately knifed. This thing has been tough. This really showing you how crucial your entries need to be.
Yeah, this is one of the last areas of support before we start turning bearish and breaking down.
Yeah. We'll see if we get that here.
If it doesn't bounce here, then it might be game over for this one.
No continues.
Going to eat your quarters.
There is no try calling for Palantir to be $60 by 2025. That would be the end of this year, my man. That would be an incredible move for Palantir. And look at that. Just as we start talking about another stock, Banzai goes, Banzai! It starts going back up. This thing is just an absolute clown show.
What, GME isn't?
No. you got me. I got gotted there by 13 real quick.
I mean, look at that. Ever since I mentioned that it could go higher, they're pouring out like clowns out of a car. IMRX. Look at that one. That one just had a nice big candle just now, up to 309.
Ah.
Uh-oh. Looks like
so for the interesting. So one of the people that I follow on Twitter, whom I have followed for a long time and very much respect their opinion, Mark Flow Chatter, saying on GameStop, this move most likely off the 22.8 million shares to buy tonight for the re-weighting. Interesting stuff there.
Jay Rice says he gets weekly SaaS reports, and he's just saying that the Palantir by far the most expensive name. You know, I don't disagree with that, and a lot of it has to do, I think, with the fact that they just keep getting so much money from contracts, and they get a lot of business. They are the big defense software out there right now, and
that continues to grow.
Yeah. So it's something that the valuations are pretty high, and I have question marks about that. But seeing how this is growing into the valuation, it doesn't seem too far fetched, but I think it should cool off. XPON, you regret? Oh, where's that at? Oh wow. XPON. It's a penny stock, but this thing is up almost 300%.
This was mentioned first in our chat at 12 cents, if I recall correctly. Stock was 6 cents yesterday. LFly coming back up. Its kid is coming up off the bottom.
Yeah, a little bit of recovery happening here with this one. MACD starting to curl and cross to the upside. So at the very least, we're probably going to see it test VWAP.
Rustam, I think you can go to my X profile and then click on following, and you can see all of the people that I follow. I think you can still do that. I know that they stopped the likes, but I'm pretty sure you can still see who I follow. The greatest, that question to me has always been kind of a puzzling one. I think the big awesome thing about X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is that you can personalize it to whatever it is that you want. So like who you follow is going to personalize what your feed looks like. So I always encourage people, I'm happy to share some of the good follows that I have, but I would always encourage you to curate that feed so that it's unique to you. That's where the real value is.
Yes, Line Atlas ZVR is halted. It's been halted for some time.
And that was for news, right? We talked about that one earlier.
Yeah. So that one's going to be halted for however long that news is coming out.
I'm just speculating. Let me be very, very clear here. I'm purely speculating. But given this precipitous drop that we saw, do we think that news might be bad? Maybe somebody knew about that ahead of time.
Well, I mean, it was a pop and drop. I can't really speak to that.
Yeah,
because the way I see this morning, the first 15 minutes is like, it's like oscillation. It's whipping around. When it halted, it might have been turning around and come back up. I don't know.
Yeah. Funky Cold Stocks says my X feed is all stocks or New York Knicks news. So that's hilarious because my X feed is mostly stocks and sports, not specifically New York Knicks, but stocks and sports. And then also I follow stuff for political happenings.
So there was news from Lunar, is what I was seeing in the chat. Not seeing the news.
Yeah, here's your lunar chart. I don't see any, like when we covered this in the rundown this morning, I didn't see any news on that either.
Okay.
Jets did look good yesterday, indeed.
Yeah.
Two tutties, almost 300 yards for based Aaron. GSIW plunged. Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
this
yeah.
thing, oh my goodness. Garden stage? What even is this?
We traded this
Hong Kong-based financial services provider. Say less.
Yeah, we traded this earlier this week. Look at the daily chart. This was fun. Oh yeah, yes, Easy Mike. That we knew about that news earlier this week. We traded it off of that news earlier this week. So after it sold off, found some support at 750. That was a time to get back in. Yeah, that's that news is great. It's 4.3 billion. Max potential in the contract. I think it was what it was. And they're going to keep getting work. Space is heating up. All right, so Lunar.
I'm looking for other stuff.
Look, actually getting some support from VWAP. Don't know that it's going to turn around and break into the 10 handle, but getting support at the moment. Glmd coming back. This one actually might try and test VWAP again at 11:30. The price, not the time. And what else is going on here?
Yeah. I don't know about you folks. It does kind of feel like stuff slowed down here. I guess IMRX is still ripping to the highs. Banzai's giving it up.
Yeah, GME is still trying to go higher, but those upper shadows.
NNE's one we talked about. OKLO, this kind of moving with the same one. What are some of the? What was the other one? SMR was the other one, I think. How's that doing? Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, BNZI started going down. Oklo is knocking on the door of 8. Actually, it's right at 8. AILE, that continues to go higher. 158 currently the high.
Walter saying an absolute slog today. Yeah, it does. Today, I would say, of all of the days this week, today was the least fun. It was the worst. I'll even say that. It was the worst.
Triple witching.
Yeah, but doesn't that happen at the close? You just think it maybe just ahead of that? People, I don't know. It's probably, just there hasn't been a whole lot of good stuff here today. I mean, SMR, look, ever since this thing is just dying in front of us.
Well done, April Fools.
Yeah, nice job. Nice job. We'll give you a register ring and the one up for that. Yeah, Brandon, I'm the same way. I haven't felt great earlier, or I haven't felt great about anything here today.
Yeah, things are just kind of doing their sideways move now.
Scalp earlier on Banzai, and then a lot of disappointment since then, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, Banzai wasn't bad out of the open. It did pretty good.
It's been pretty brutal since then, though.
Yeah, it just never got to 8.
SPY rolling over here. Looks like it's going to retest some of those lows. Let me put that on screen here for the SPY.
Good.
Don't forget, we got Anne-Marie coming up after live trading here today. So if you're looking for some more option plays, I have some. We're going to start with JP Morgan.
Let's get that weakness so that we can turn around and go higher. Looks like, maybe not. Tenon looks like it's trying to turn around, but I need to see more basing. I got the hiccups. Sorry about that.
You're good, man.
SMR still going down. AILE having a hard time getting past 158. NBY sideways pretty much the entire morning. IMRX looking to take out that 312. And we lose 566.58 in the SPY, then I'm looking for the test of 565.16.
Yep.
Look, Russell, I know you love William. How's that one doing today? It's slightly up. Got as high as 80. Looks like out of the open and came back in to where it was trading in the pre-market.
I'll take a trivia question, Jay. I like your trivia questions. Friday trivia. What S&P name has performed the best in the last 2 years? It's up 48x.
What are we talking about, NVIDIA?
In the last 2 years. S&P name.
You go ahead and ponder that one.
Well, what I'm thinking about doing here maybe is opening up a scanner and then using the, it's on the new one. Damn, I was going to do those holdings of SPY and scan for them. All right, I guess we're going to have to take some guesses at this, huh, Jay? Anyone have any guesses for Jay?
Oh, I was just guessing NVIDIA. Probably not right, but it's a guess.
Purgatory Park guessed Mullen. I think he's just trying to get Jay to, or so did Walter. So it looks like they're just trying to get Jay fired up here. I'd like to see Jay fired up. Purgatory Park looks like the serious guest here was SMSI.
I don't want to see Jay fired up. The whole market might go down.
Take that. Jay, I'll tell you what, I'm straight up stumped on this one. I would just be guessing names. SMSI sounds the best. I don't think it's Costco. Lion Atlas agrees on Mullen. Mullen's not an S&P name, guys. Oh. Yeah, really no clue. Jay, what is it? Carvana. That's an S&P name?
It is.
Oh, Jay, I'll tell you what. You could have given me 500 guesses, and I might not have got this. You could have given me 500.
It would have been Root, but that one came back in, I think. No, it probably wouldn't have been. But I mean, Root, that was another one that was going wild. And I think, as I recall, they're both tied together, Carvana and Root. I think Carvana owns part of Root.
This was a good question, Jay. This was a really, really good one. I admit defeat. There was no way I was going to get that one. No chance.
I mean, great time for trivia since it looks like the volume.
Yeah, this is like watching paint dry. I mean, we're gonna move back lower here. This is like watching paint dry. Webcoin says we should have asked for a clue. That would have been a good idea, actually. That would have been a good idea.
Can I phone a friend?
Oh, I'm starting to see Blackhawk news on my X feed. Oh, let's go.
Uh-oh. AILE coming down.
I was going to say OKLO looks like it's trying to curl off this pull.
And EE also coming down. Is this where we start to get that weakness? NBY also coming down. Everything's starting to pull. What's happening? That's okay. It can pull. It can do whatever it wants. Market gonna market. Hope Oklo goes up. It's just going down. Need to get more liquidity. Entered early. Yeah, I mean, it really, the volume is really right up in this one too. It had a little pop. I didn't see that about 20 minutes ago, but I guess as long as it holds VWAP, there's still a good chance for it. But if it loses that, I'd be looking at maybe 750 as a support area. Everything just really coming in.
Yep. 2 minutes. We're going to go over to Anne Marie.
Oh, good. We'll have some more ideas there. Should be able to. Let's see. You have JP Morgan that you wanted to ask.
We were
her
going to
about,
start
right?
with that. Yeah, she asked me to remote. We had that was a question. Was that Chris? Someone asked on Tuesday about JPM. We ran out of time, so we're going to start with it. And I was tasked with remembering, and I did not fail. So that's really good.
And I helped.
And you helped.
All right. Take care, Market Sniper.
Take care.
Have a
Good luck with the
weekend.
cat. Hopefully you're not in Ohio.
Yeah.
Sorry, probably too soon for that, but it is
No,
a Friday.
no. Hey, I'm just laughing because, you know.
At least you're laughing. At least you're laughing and
Jeez.
not cussing me out or something like that, because that could have gone either way. Oh, Market Sniper laughed as well. So, hey, I'll take that. Oh my gosh, Banzai appeared back on the scanner. Are we going to go? So the interesting thing here, it's been wild. It's been crazy. And I just start talking about it and it starts moving. What's going on here? With this one, we didn't really pull back and break down. Yeah, look, tried to pop over the VWAP and knifed. I don't know. We'll see on this one. Be careful if you're going to trade this one. It really hasn't given us the greatest setups. All right, 13, it's 10 a.m. I really appreciate everything here this week. It was a really good week. I know today was a little bit boring, but this week was really good. Any closing thoughts here for the group?
Well, even though we did have a bit of a boring day, I still thought it was a lot of fun with interacting with chat. We had a great time, chat. And I'm going to look forward to Monday being another great time. Hopefully, we'll get some new kind of market sentiment. We're looking forward to next week, guys. I'll see you then.
Yeah, really good stuff. Chat, and I second 13's comments there. Chat has been awesome, as you folks normally are. 13, have a great weekend. The departure of 13, of course, leaves room for the one and only Anne Marie Band. We're going to go ahead and bring her on. Anne Marie, how are you doing here today?
Pretty good. Really finding this market motion to be very interesting. It's a mixed bag for sure.
Okay,
For sure.
I'd love to get your thoughts on that. I will say, right out of the open, we had kind of a lot of stuff moving around there. We did have a couple of day trades and some of these junkier names. But I'll be honest with you, it really kind of dried up pretty quickly. And so I'm really looking forward to looking at some of these different option plays. And as a reminder, we are going to start with JPM, as I just mentioned. Let me go ahead and throw your screen here. It looks like you are looking at a heat map. I was doing that as well. What are you seeing here, Emery?
Well, you can see how much profit taking there is right here after the great big run up, right? There's a lot of profit taking today, and it just might be folks saying, hey, that was an amazing run yesterday, time to move up. And so as we look at the charts, the one big thing that I want us to see is what's happening with the VX. That is the tradable VIX. The VIX is not a tradable instrument, but the VX is a tradable instrument. And it tells us really how the traders are positioning today. And just when you and 13 started noticing the market beginning to pull back a little bit, this bounced, but it is still very sideways. You can see that volatility band just chop, chop, chop,
Yeah.
chop, 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 chop. So what normally happens on days post FOMC after a great big run like we had is usually digestion. And so on a day like today, we are going to see sort of ranges in the broad space. So when you see something like that, your day should be marked with support to resistance trades in the direction of trend. So let's start with JP Morgan. And we'll take a look at, we have an Apple long butterfly that's starting to do very well. It's up about 76% today. I would like to see it, get up and out and move into 237. I think that would be very nice, but that's just a side note. Let's take a peek at JP Morgan. These guys are really going to benefit from the rate reduction because they hold a lot of commercial credit. And the rate reduction is going to allow their investors sitting in commercial credit to refinance. Also, a lot of treasury action going on in here, and the interest rate formations in the bonds also going to help these guys lift. So I think it's a big, although we normally think, ooh, price action fades normally happen in financials after the market starts to lower rates. But this is sort of a unique time because there are a lot of things on the books that they can clean up with this move in the Fed funds rate. So I know, long, boring macro stuff, but it does help us see that we potentially have got some really nice bullish action that could hold really well here in JP Morgan. So in a unique space, I am going to thread, wait, when are earnings? 10-7. Okay, that changes the color quite a bit.
10-11, I think.
Oh, yes, 10-11. You are correct. 10-11. I see that. All right, so let's go to it. Let's have a look. Okay. Just price action alone, we can see that the deep dips are being bought. And so my thought is, if you want to go for the pure bullish move, I've got some ideas there. And then if you're trading into earnings and you're like, well, I don't know, we'll look at the double butterfly. So let's jump into it. So here we go. This only gives us one week into expiration. It's going to give us the biggest bang for the buck, meaning the call on this particular butterfly, now at 63 cents, will deliver sort of like CrowdStrike, which I covered before this move. I covered this September one because it's very rare that I ever hold these things into earnings. But this CrowdStrike butterfly went from 60 cents to $6.60.
Wow.
Because of this move. It moved $12 today. And I was looking for the news about why, and I saw some upgrades, but really did not see a ton. So not sure what's going on there, but this might be the reason we could look at something and go, if we have JPM and we hold it just for the week into earnings, this is the big bet. Now, let me make sure that the strikes are right. Here we are at 210. And then we have the 216 as that middle space, and then 220 and 225. Let's see. We have 215, 220, 225. It's only 5 wide, which means the probability has to be very exact. Very, very exact for this kind of trade into earnings. And so if you wanted to widen it and pay a little more, you could say 215 to 225 to 235. Now, $1.79, so it's a little bit expensive, but it's got upside pressure for $10 into the range, and it's going to be very sensitive to price motion. So you might say to yourself, all right, maybe I'll do that. Seems a little expensive. What can I do to offset some of that expense? And I would suggest potentially the 195 to 185, 195 to 190 bull put spread. Okay, so it cuts your exposure in half. It does use margin. So if you're not interested in that kind of space, you could stick right with the call. But this is the one that I would say, hey, listen, if you're looking for a big bullish move with the opportunity to go, all right, well, if it falls, $15, I'm still going to be okay in this particular price point, because JPM is just, they're going to be masterfully benefited by what's going on in the market right now with this pullback. So that's what I would say there. Now, let's say you're the guy / gal that says, all right, I'm not interested in that. I want to see it go into November. I want cheaper prices. And I want some widened opportunity into a full motion. These options nearby are still very expensive. They're still very, very expensive. If you want to go further out, that will use margin, so we don't want to do that. Let's go to 35, because what I think we're going to have is a blow off top. All right, again, $1. But that's what we're looking at for a $10 move on the upside pressure event. Let's say they have something on their books and they go, holy cow, I don't know. We could have a drop below 200. So we're going to look at 200 to 190 to 180 on the double, building the double put butterfly. So 200, 190 to 180. So $2 of risk, $10 of upside. So the $2 will come off the top. And because we're in November, if the price action does nothing, we'll have about a 50% reduction, which I think should be where the butterfly should sit and go, you know what, if I lose more than 50%, I want to get out, and you can sell both of them. And you'll be able to essentially pull back from that perspective. I know, not super cheap, but that's actually a fairly good sign that the traders are saying to themselves, we could have ourselves a pretty solid move. So that being said, that's what I think would be a nice trade. Let's take a look at it again. Ryan, do you have any feedback, suggestions, thought about, hey, what if I did XYZ?
Not really on JPM. This is not, I don't mess around with banks at all, really.
Yeah. Okay.
I was sitting here listening to you like I was in class, frankly. So I'm not sure. I really don't have any follow-up or opinion on this. I'll tell you what, I've really struggled trading banks recently. JPM, I know, being best in breed. I've had a little bit better luck with some of the investment banks like Goldman Sachs. I don't know if you've ever set up one of these option trades, whether it's a butterfly or otherwise, on Goldman Sachs.
Yeah. We do Goldman Sachs a lot.
Okay.
We do, because it's got good move action. It's got an ATR that's pretty high, right? $27.
And you know what? Now that I'm looking at this, Anne-Marie, this chart actually looks similar to the motion that JPM was doing, right? Those extreme pullbacks that you were just talking about are getting bought on this chart as well. Absolutely. I almost wonder if you could structure a trade similar to what you just did here.
Absolutely. Same sort of thing, right? So we're going to use, let's see what we'll use. When are their earnings? Earnings season is about to crank up. So we are going to have tons of butterflies.
4 days after JPM.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to have
That's
tons
that
of
same
opportunity.
week, I think.
Yep, it is. I think this one's what, 17th?
Oh,
15th.
no. So, okay. Yeah. So that JPM's on Friday, the 11th. And then the next week is the 15th.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's take a look at this. We'll look at November, simply because with only 3 days, if you like saying to yourself, you know what, I just want to go big or go home, just trading these sorts of things, let's take a peek at how cheaply we might be able to focus on this if it's got an outsized move. Now, here's the thing. If it's an outsized move to the downside, you're going to have to sell it quickly so that you can capture the profit. If it's an outsized move to the upside, I think you're also going to have to sell it quickly. My suspicion is that upside pressure is going to be big and then it's going to be gone, not an acceleration into big motion. A few macro things making me do that, but again, that's just a thought. All right, so here we are. It's rejecting 500, right? So if we take a look and we say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do an outsized trade for upside. I'm going to do 20. It's 27. So I'm going to start at 525, go to 535, and then 545. For the downside move, 20, I'm going to go 475, 465, 455. $4.75, $4.65, $4.55, 62 cents. All right. This has 3 days to move. And if you're wrong, it's going to zero. Just think about that when you are looking at your charts. So we're going to go.
Another reason to maybe not bet the farm on these, right, Anne-Marie? Take them small.
Exactly. Onesies, because, you know, there's $1,000 of credit in here possible.
Yeah.
530, 540. Okay. So you're going to risk about, what is that? $1.50?
Yep. $1.46. Yeah, you're right there.
Remember, it's going to be big or nothing. Big or nothing. So if you say, hey, do I want to take an outsized bet on a move for a chart that has rising ATR? Okay. Another big thing, right? This ATR is not only high at 27, it's rising. And what we do see is the average week on market motion post earnings, pretty big. Between the week we go and the follow-up week, very big. Now, the question is, does this give us enough time to participate? So if you say, you know what, I'm just not feeling it, send me into the next month. Absolutely. We're going to go for 75, 465, 455. Same price. That is very interesting. Very interesting. So they've got vol juiced all the way into November. Call side a little cheaper, right? So there's more put side activity. So instead here you spend $1.20 instead of $1.50. Gives you a little bit of time, but easily if one of these pitches, you're going to come in and there's going to be, you know, $700 of profit waiting on you. So there it is. However you feel about it, that's the Goldman event.
Okay.
I like these for, hey, you know what? This is going to be my one trade that I take that's going to be quick strike. And something could possibly happen. And because we have volatility that is, listen, it's going to continue to increase. No matter if you're thinking to yourself, oh man, the market's doing so good, everything's da-da-da. Look out, folks. I'm telling you, look out. Doesn't mean we're going to fall off a cliff, but it does mean there's going to be a day where we have that whoosh. And then everybody's going to buy again. We're just going to see tons of days like that. All right, let's take a look at a post-earnings trade.
FedEx time.
what the heck went on with these guys?
Well, so let me stop you before we actually get into the trade, Anne-Marie. One of the things that we've been discussing with FedEx, both here and in happy hour, is how this is a barometer on how the consumer is doing. And we've been talking quite a bit about the consumer tightening and really kind of coming in with the economy. And I feel like we're seeing that out of FedEx. They also didn't guide very well in this earnings report too, which is why they were down almost $40. 13% or whatever at the lows. I don't know what does it say it's down now? 15.5%. It's down more than that now.
Yeah.
Oh man, this took another leg lower. Okay.
I know.
So the reason I wanted to stop you there is I wanted to ask you, do you look at this and take anything about the consumer or the economy from earnings prints like this on FedEx?
Well, here's the thing. I think there's a lot of competition. Amazon is doing so much more of their own deliveries.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there are a lot of countries FedEx can't deliver to anymore. I don't know if you've been to FedEx lately, but I was in there the other day doing some stuff, and I saw this list on the wall that said, we've resumed some of our operations in we continue to not have any deliveries in. So it could be a combination of things. My gut says it probably has something to do with how much people are spending on that.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking about how much traffic moves with Amazon and how much more of their own deliveries they are taking charge of and not letting FedEx do it, I think there's something to be said there. But yes, that is a very ugly chart. Now notice, take a look. When we have big moves like this, they continue for another week, right? Another couple of weeks. The big moves up get sold off, but the big moves down drift into support.
And then once they hit support, they end up coming back up.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, here's the thing. If you're looking over the long haul, buying is the best thing that you could do in the market.
Yeah.
The question is always, how much risk tolerance do I have? And am I wise enough to go, you know what? That's all I can handle. I'm not going to do anything else. So here's the thought here. Two things could happen. It could have a reflexive bounce that fades, or it could continue down into a support ledge. So my thought is it continues down into support ledge. So post earnings, our butterflies are going to be very cheap. So let's just go to October. That's 28 days, right? And let's anticipate, where's it going to head to?
245?
Yeah, 245. So let's say, it's only there are no $5 increments here. Well, we could do a 240, 230, 220. That's 82 cents for a $10 upside. That's just one side, right? Now, we could put this in our back pocket and say, what these guys normally do is bounce before that happens. And so let me create an alert at around 260. And if we come into that marker early in the week, this is going to be, I don't know, 10 cents cheaper, right? Which is really, from the 80 cents that we just looked at, that's a 12.5%.
I was going to say, that's considerable.
Haircut. Yeah. So my thought is we wait on that one. And then let's let's see if we get a reflexive bounce that allows us to go short. And we take a directional butterfly, right? We go, hey, listen, it's cheap, it's directional. We definitely have a 50% stop loss on it. You know, you could end up doing a couple of things that would make it a little bit more appealing from a reversal formation if it does it, but that sort of gets a little complicated. So we won't do that. Now, if you're saying, why can't I do something if I know it's going to be rough for a few weeks? Why don't I take that 260 and when it gets hit, I actually sell the 260, 270 call spread. So I have a combined synthetic. It's not quite synthetic, but I have a combined short event. So I'm literally, it's a very bearish formation, but it allows me to really use the credit to finance my debit. And well, look at this coming in. Yeah, easily, you know, this could easily be, I don't know, 41 cents.
So is this one of those where you would throw that order out there for that lower price and just hope you get filled, see what happens?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I would, for this one, I would see if you could get, I don't know, do something crazy like $5, right? See if you can get the short put filled and then do something here and say, you know what, I'm going to try and sell that for 40 cents and see what happens.
Okay.
Right? I like it a lot. I do want to know what's going on with CrowdStrike. What say you on this?
Let me bring that up here real quick. We'll take a look together. CrowdStrike. All right. So come on. Come on. Come on. You got to load faster than this. She's waiting on us. Come on.
I have an iron condor here. And I'm going to have to roll the fat side on the calls over into the next month because of this gigantic move. I think it's going to fade, but I also think that I can roll it for credit, which is going to be pretty nice. I'm just going to.
For CrowdStrike here, I don't have anything.
See it either.
Yeah, I don't have anything fresh, but it looks like yesterday we were getting several reiterations. Rosenblatt maintained its buy and maintained its 325 price target. Looks like we also had Piper Sandler maintaining overweight and maintaining a 290 price target. And Cantor reiterates their overweight and maintains the 350 price target. So it looks like you got some defenses there, but that was yesterday. That wasn't fresh this morning.
Yeah.
Stock's up here 4.73% here today. I mean, that's a pretty big move.
Monstrous move. That is a monstrous move for this stock.
And, you know, looking at the chart here, I guess there's like a little mini gap that we're kind of in. There's another gap above this if we clear 318.
Yep. Yep, I see that. And there's also this little gap pocket into, maybe that's the one you're talking about, the 349.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now we know CrowdStrike is going to recover. I just think that's a really outsized move. But you know, I'm just going to roll. I'm just going to roll the short call spread while I have time and move it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got 3 minutes left here. You know, I did want to ask you one more thing. If we can go back really quickly to that FedEx chart, because I know we were talking about taking multiple different options trades here. So I'm almost wondering, given the past performance of this, looks like when it drops off, you have this on a weekly, right? So you have 1, 2, 3. It looks like you've got anywhere between 5 and really 8 weeks where it kind of figures out where that support level is. So I'm almost wondering if we could apply that same thought process to this downdraft that we've had recently, and then maybe set up a trade as it starts to move back up.
That's exactly, That's what I meant when I said, hey, listen, let's put an alert on here. And
Gotcha.
wait.
Okay, I'm sorry. You already covered. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't take it today. Wait.
Don't take it today. That's exactly.
Yeah. And or put in some amazing numbers where you go, you know, if I get this, it's going to be insane. Right. So if you can collect 50% on a vertical where you know the price action is going to have a fair bit of trouble, you know, that's nice. Old resistance over here on the weekly becoming new support. Maybe instead we let it go to 265, that round-ish number, and we don't take it unless it gets there.
Okay.
Yeah. What you got planned for the weekend? You gonna play some golf?
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna try to. I tell you what, Anne-Marie, last weekend I was really depressed to see those fall leaves on the green, and I just know that my season is coming to an end here. So I may try to get out there. I have some errands to do on Saturday, so we'll see what that looks like. And then, of course, I've got my entire slate blocked off on Sunday for football. So
yes,
really, really, really hoping for a big day there on Sunday. But hey, Zunaid.
Hello. Anne-Marie. Hello, thank you. Who is your football team or any sports team for that matter?
Okay, so I have, well, actually, listen, my husband is a frickin' sports junkie.
Let's go.
So
I like him already.
Yeah, he's insane about. He blocks off the same thing on Sunday. He's like, don't even
Sundays
talk
are
to
for
me.
football. Yeah.
Don't even talk to me if my teams are playing.
Nice.
So I will cheer for anyone that he is cheering for, because if I don't, then things get bad.
Yeah.
He wants to talk to him,
Fair
obviously.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Well, I like that. I will see your husband and Ryan, and you know, men like to up each other all the time. And I am actually driving. So I'm in Atlanta, and I'm driving to North Carolina just so I can sports bet this weekend. And so that's the dedication that I have. And don't worry, boss, if you're watching, I'm leaving at 5:01 p.m. So yeah, that's the madness. I'm going to drive to North Carolina. It's about a 4-hour drive because it's illegal to sports bet there. So first of all, we have more people that do the same thing here, right? We've got a couple of people that can't sports bet in their state, and they just go across state lines, place the bet, and come back. So you're not the only one that does that. The only question I have, are you going to do anything there? Or are you 4 hours there, place your bets, and 4 hours back? Oh, no. If I'm going to drive there for 4 hours, I'm spending like the weekend there. I have some friends there as well. So we're going to hang out, kick it, whatever. I'll pretend to sightsee. But no, it's Domino's.
What part
hotel
of
room.
North Carolina? Because I grew up in that state.
I don't know. I think I'm looking at literally Hyatt's website right now. It's somewhere near Charlotte Airport, Lake Point, whatever that is.
Okay, yeah, that's nice. I know that area really well. A lot of places to roam around. But
as long as the TV and cable are good, I'll be good. Yeah.
Well, have fun.
I'll report back and let you know how I did.
Yes, absolutely.
But awesome. Appreciate you both. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.
All right, chat. We're going to go ahead and continue the show. Sandra, give me a thumbs up.
Hello.
Sandra, before we talk markets, any sports teams of yours before we talk some?
No, I haven't really been into sports, but you make me laugh about, driving across state lines.
Oh,
so
100%.
You're not doing any of the internet stuff where you can bet on the internet?
Me illegally? No, never. No, but like even to do it legally on the internet, you have to be in the state because of the location stuff. So that's why Ryan was like, hey, are you going to place it and run back? I'm like, no. I'm going to spend the weekend there because I'm going to enjoy today. Then Saturday, college football. And then you've got the NFL. And then if I really feel like being a degenerate, maybe I'll spend Monday there as well and just work from there.
Oh, why not? Have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if I'm going to drive all the way there, I might as well make a little trip out of it. But all right, tell me what tickers.
Tell me who you're betting on so I can watch.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you didn't say so. You can do it too, because then you'd lose money. But we'll see we'll see how I feel like I have an edge on certain things, but I don't. But let me get some tickers from you that we're going to cover here before I play your intro.
Okay, we're going to look at Planter, Amazon, and Coin.
All right. Well, hey, PLTR. I know that's been a popular one with the retail world, especially because they got added to the S&P 500 just last week or 2 weeks ago. And I know people are excited for that one to hit 37, but you're watching Options Trading Made Simple with Sandy.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fit-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
Hello, hello. Hope you guys are doing good today. Just taking a look at, boy, our indices here on quad witching going down. You know, I noticed I was looking at Gamma and Jex. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gamma and Jex, but it's basically the market makers taking in all the institutional trades, and they have to hedge their position because they're looking at just making the, you know, the spread between the bid and the ask. And so as they're taking in all these trades, they actually create support and resistance. So I was just looking at SPX's support, which was at 56.80. And you can see here on a 15-minute chart where we actually did partial of a gap fill from yesterday's gap up. And looking to see if 56.80 holds as support for SPX to get a little bounce here. But all the indices really kind of looking weak today on quad witching. DIA also gapped down and hasn't even attempted to fill its gap this morning. IWM also gapping down and making a lower low here. And then, you know, the Qs actually had some relative strength. They haven't looked as weak as SPY, but looks like they're taking a little bounce here on a 15. So really kind of looking weak for today, but we'll see how it ends up. I wanted to take a look at Planter here. This has been a popular stock. We gapped down today. We're actually coming to the bottom of this gap here at about 36.44. It is looking weak on momentum, and as far as like an hourly as well, it's looking weak. Momentum looking weak. I actually see this coming to possibly retest this lower area of 35. I know you're not going to be happy with that since it's been so popular, but look at it attempting for today as an intraday trade. If it can make it up above that 36.47 level, this can actually go and possibly fill that gap. That would be real positive. However, the trend right now is weak for today. So we'll see if it ends up filling the gap and then having a gap and go, or turning around after that gap. Momentum on a 5-minute right now for intraday trading actually looks really positive here. So that actually looks pretty good. Looking at Amazon, let's check out Amazon. Amazon too, week for today, doing a fill of yesterday's, almost a 50% gap fill from yesterday's gap. And now just making a little recovery here. But I got to tell you, you know, you have a high, you have a low. So really looking for a lower high before a lower low here. That is the trend. And then coin, let's take a look at coin. Coin also coming down. Looks like yesterday we made a little bit of a gap fill, and now made a high and a low. And again, coming to test that 20 EMA, but it's going to be a lower high. So today is trending bearish, right? We trend about 15-20% of the time. And outside of that, we're going sideways. And so any of you guys have any charts you'd like me to take a look at? I sometimes forget to ask about that, but I want to take some requests. If you have any here, let's see. All right. So people not really looking at any specific charts. Anybody got any good trades going on today? I noticed we were talking about butterflies and such. And as I take a look at SPX, I was thinking about all the back testing that we talked about I think it was 2 weeks ago. We talked about, oh, I forgot to go through that trade, and I completely forgot what that trade was. Do you remember, Zunaid? Oh, my Lord. I don't think we ended up profiting off of that trade. I took last week off, so my apologies. But as I'm taking a look at SPX, I was thinking about some of the back testing that we do. And we do a lot of premium generating strategies like credit spreads and debit spreads, as well as iron condors and iron flies. And typically speaking, these are great strategies for sideways movement. Now, we are above the 20. We are trending bullish on SPX. And I love doing these premium generating strategies on SPX. So as I take a look at SPX, and even though we're having a down day, we are bullish. We have momentum that's up on a daily. We've we broke the previous high. So really being very bullish, even though in fact, I was just taking a look at this. Our weekly expected move for SPX on the high end was actually at 57.05, and we broke that yesterday. And so for next week, the weekly expected move to go higher is 57.68. And on the lower end, it's at 56.04. So as we're sitting around 56.87, I was actually thinking about a credit spread. I had back tested this on, I don't know if you guys ever use a retail software for back testing, but I found a real easy one to use. And I just love this strategy because it has about an 85% win rate. So typically speaking, at the end of the day, around 3:45 or so, you put on a put credit spread. If SPX is above the 20, you actually end up doing a 50 delta. So let's get this out. You're going to go for Monday, which is 3 days. So this is a Monday trade. You're going to go to your 50 delta put. Let's take a look at that. So that's around 56.90, and you're going to take a 5 wide. So if you come over here to your vertical and you go 56.90 right here, and you sell it, so you have the 56.90, the 56.85, so 5 wide. It's going to cost you 220, and you're risking 270. So you're really looking for, it's almost a 1-to-1 here. Your max loss is 270, your max profit is 230, and you're looking for this to expire on Monday, worthless, which that means you get the entire credit. Now, the thing is, though, you have to get at least $2 worth. So here you can see we have 220. I really like this trade right here. I'm going to put this on for Monday. And as long as I can get at least above that 2, I'm going to try to stick it in there for 205. You could see there's actually quite a bit of a spread here. So I'm going to try to get that in there for 205, see if I can get filled. I did get filled. So I got a credit at 205. Now, if we go to the analyze, I have a lot of trades on SPX right now. If we go to the analyze graph, let me, for simple sake here, 56.90, 56.85. I'm going to put that on my analyze graph just separately here. You could see that here is the trade. And really what we're looking for is SPX to stay above that 56.85 level. And as long as it does, it'll expire worthless on Monday, and you get to keep the entire credit. So this is a great trade for theta burn. So you put it on Fridays as an example. If SPX is above the 20 EMA on a daily chart, and you're looking for SPX to stay above that, what was that, 56.85, and you get the entire credit. If you end up losing, then you end up losing $270, but you end up making about 200, what was that, 225 or so. And it's actually a pretty decent R&R for premium selling. So if you want to try this trade, today is great. Now, I put it on early just to show you how it looks like when we actually put this trade on. But if you want to actually pick a better time of day to put this on, it would be right at the end of the day at 3:45 or so. And you're looking for theta burn for the entire weekend. Come in on Monday, as long as we're a little bullish on Monday. This is a great over the weekend trade to make. 85% win rate on option Omega. By the way, a very easy retail software to use. If you've never used a retail software to backtest your own premium generating strategies. It's excellent. If you use the promo code TMS, you get 50% off. So I get a cup of coffee. I think they give me $5, but you get 50% off the regular retail rates there. So actually a nice little partnership with Option Omega. And if you're a premium, just think about this for just a minute now. We like to go directional in our community. We like to go directional because, 15, 20% of the time we're trending. And if we're trending, we want to take advantage of that, either bullish or bearish, right? But if we're not trending and we end up going sideways most of the time, then it's really nice to take advantage of those premium selling strategies like credit spreads and iron condors and iron flies. So just something to take a look at if you're interested in really profiting, not only when the market is bullish, not only when the market is bearish, but also when it just goes sideways. So if you get frustrated at chop, don't. Just find a strategy that you can actually utilize to take advantage of the chop, and you can earn an income while doing that. So this credit spread is actually looking at SPX being bullish and continuing its bullish and or sideways. Remember, on a credit spread, you can go sideways, you can go a little bit down, you can also go in the direction that you've chosen, which is bullish for selling a put credit spread. They call it a bull put credit spread. And you can earn an income doing this over the weekend. So let's see if that ends up playing out for next week. And then as we take a look at some directional plays, plans are really kind of on a day chart. You can see, I think, do I have Heikinashis on? This is interesting. I was actually coaching someone on the Heikinashi chart. If you're a brand new trader, let me just take a look I do have the Heikinashi. So let me go through this really quick. If you're a brand new trader and sometimes trend evades you and you're trying to identify, hey, where should I go on a swing trade? The Heikinashi candles are really good for newer traders because it actually takes an average of what the candles are doing. And what this does is it keeps you in a trend longer. So as we look at Planter, you can see on a Heikinashi candle, this is our first red candle. And so we had a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 daily candles on the upside. So we may have 2 or 3 on the low side, but it's taking the average of the candle. This allows you to stay in a trend longer. Now, clearly, we are in a bull trend on Planter. We've had a lot of news. You can see momentum is high, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't take advantage of maybe 2 or 3 days of it going in a lower direction. Now, next week, as you can see, our low end for Planter is 34.83. This could even get over to the 20, which is at 33.88. Looking at possibly going even below that. So wanting it to go below the 36 level. And that could happen next week if this Heikinashi today ends up staying red. So looking at the 32 puts for Planter, let's take a look and see how much that's going to cost us. And I'm actually looking for more of an October run for this. So let's see, October, let's do the monthlies. October, we could do a vertical. We could also just do, let's see, 36. We wanted to stay below 36. So I think that'll be our threshold today. If Planter can get below 36, then we can actually probably take the 32 puts here. Not very expensive, but we need to see confirmation and stay below 36 for Planter. So I'm going to check this on an hourly chart. You can see on an hourly, a nice big engulfing candle here. Momentum still low, taking a little bounce here. Would really like this to stay below the 36 level. So I'm going to wait on that for the end of the day. Let's take a look at Amazon now for some swings. Amazon and an hourly, you can see actually it's still trying to recover its momentum here. Also looking bearish for the day. We could get a couple days of sideways as well as some sideways or lower action here now that we've hit basically some highs in our indices. Looking at point of control at 188, we're actually above it. So looking to see if we close above that 188.94 level. If we do, next week we could head up to 193. If we don't, we could come down to the 184 level for next week. This is kind of like right in the middle. Don't really like the Amazon for any puts here. Still looks good to me, actually. So let's see. On a daily, you can see coin, boy, it's been bearish, but we've just crested above the momentum. And why is momentum so important? Well, momentum actually drives price, but can it get enough strength to pop up? You could see the weekly expected move right here. If we close today on coin above that 168.93 level, we could get above to 179.62. That would be a really nice push up. However, if we can't crest above for next at the end of close today on Friday, if we don't stay above or open up on Monday at 169.33, we could go down and hit the 158. Wow, that would even be lower. You can tell that momentum has not crested above the 100 level here. It's actually staying below it. This could actually go lower on coin. It's kind of like right in between. I'm not really loving that either, to be quite honest with you. Let's take a look at an hourly. I can see on an hourly, we have some consolidation here at 166.95. I'd really like to see coin stay above that level for a possible bounce. I don't really like it. I just don't like the positioning of it right here. Attempting to, we actually went lower than yesterday, attempting to fill that gap from yesterday. I just don't like coin at all for a play. And then let's take a look at some of the indices on DIA, taking a little bounce here, consolidating if it can stay above 418.50, which is actually looks really good on a 15. Let's take a look at an hourly. On an hourly, looking to see if it can get above that 419.95. If it can start making a gap fill. Would really like to see that for DIA. You could see where we are right here. Really needs to break above this level, this 419.72, to go higher, to possibly do a gap fill. Oh, but boy, momentum curving down on the low end on a 5-minute. It's going to take a lot longer to turn to this bus around. Oftentimes when we get these heavy moves down like this, it takes a long time to consolidate sideways before we can actually make that that turnaround. Don't really like it. Canary in the coal mine, IWM. Let's see. Ooh, made a lower low today. Coming to attempt to do a trend change. On a 5-minute, we need to actually see price get above the 20 EMA, and then for momentum to stay above that zero line. But you could tell like it's cresting out, just going sideways. Doesn't have a lot of strength here on IWM either. Not really liking anything right here. The Qs, actually, the momentum actually looks pretty good. If it can bounce and stay above this 20, which is right about here, the Qs have an opportunity to come and do a trend change here. Looking to break above this candle high, 481.30. Still have a lot of room to go. And then let's take a look at SPY. On SPY, looks like our momentum still weak on SPY. Our momentum still weak. We made a high, a low, sideways, lower low. Looking for a trend change here at some point. Looks like we're going to still go sideways. We need to break above that 20, which we're right at right here, but it's still holding as resistance. As you can see, that momentum just can't seem to stay and get stronger and break above that 100 level. So the indices are really, really weak here. We could see a couple down days come next week. That's a possibility, but we are still a bullish on SPX and looking for SPX to stay above our level at 56.90. If it can stay above 56.90, it can make a high actually for next week at 57.74. Could you imagine? And so this is why it's do or die situation. This is why I really like to wait for the 335 time period, or like the 345 time period, just like 15 minutes before the close, to put on that SPX credit spread. But we're okay. We're going to see where we're at right now. You could tell that we've actually just earned just a little bit of income here, but not very much. We need time to pass, but the weekend will help us out. So that's what we're looking for this week. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Any chart? Oh, speaking of coin, by is yeah, it is languishing badly. I would agree. Does anyone know if I have no idea? Back to oh gosh, all the coins, not really into it. UNG and Boyle, both are likely the retest of 52-week lows. UNG just needs 522 to get close. Let's take a look at UNG. I wouldn't mind taking a look at UNG. Natural gas. Man, look at it. Since June, double top in June, boom, made a low here. Still going sideways. Boy, really needs to break out of that. You said 1522. I would agree with you right here on the daily. That resistance level is around 1518. So you're 1520, 22. Let's see what this candle high is here. Candle high is 1522. You're right on. I like it. I like your analysis there. The momentum is high, and you can tell that even though we're just going sideways, momentum's trying to catch a break here. So unfortunately, natural gas, it needs a break here. It needs, if it can stay above that 1522 level, it can get to 1567 next week. So I like your analysis on UNG. I'm not really into Boyle. I know it's a high IB stock here. You could see my IB is red, 104. If you're a premium seller, you like these high IB stocks. So actually on Boyle, boy, it looks just the same here. Natural gas ETF. Kind of in the same boat. You can actually see this dotted line here, which is showing this flag pendant. Needs to really break above here to start going up to its last high, which was back in May. But you know what? It does remind me, I mean, this is a nice setup. If you're waiting for it, this could break out here. You're really just looking for a break above 1099 for Boyle. Nice call out on UNG and Boyle. I like it. Ready for it to take off. Oil, I'd like to pick up one of, let's see, you guys. Oh, Tesla posted yet another confirmed top at a lower high yesterday, but Tesla's killed. Let's take a look at Tesla really quick. All right, Tesla. It's high back in July. 271. This is not bad. You know, we did a high, we did a low, you know, did a lot of consolidating here. Looks like a nice breakout right here above the 20. You can see on a daily. It's been inching higher. By the way, it just this week broke above its consolidation area at 234.68. That is a Darvis play strategy. Momentum is still high, taking a little breather today. But next week, okay, next week, if we open up above today's closing, so wherever we close today, if we open up next week above that area of today's closing, we could hit a high of 254.30. But if we actually open up below today's closing, we could come down and retest this 20 here, which is down at the 225 mark. So just keep that in mind. Today we kind of did a double top. We'll have to see how today actually ends. One of the positives for Tesla, though, let me see, is that above 239.76? Yeah. The daily 5 EMA, that's a really short-term trend. You could put on your chart and see that if we stay on any ticker above that 5 EMA, it's bullish. If we go below it, it could be bearish for a short-term trend, couple days. So that's kind of a signal, like a now signal. And actually right now it's at 235.07. So we are above it on a 5-day. So we're still considered bullish here. I always like to look at a short-term 1 hour and a 15 on my short-term trends. You can see that we did a high and we're coming down to make a low. We could make a lower high here before we make a lower low. This actually this 1 hour pivot high is acting as support right here, and it's holding well. Could do some sideways action before we pop up. You can see that looking for a call at 239.43. We just broke that, so looking to go a little higher to 243.41 and 247. And I think that just about does it for me today. I hope that gives you guys some ideas for not only today, but for next week.
All right. Appreciate the insights. And yeah, I think the Tesla's always interesting. Obviously, I wish I purchased it a lot earlier and sooner, maybe even swung it when it got down to the $200 level. But, you know, that's the hindsight trading in me.
Totally.
Any fun plans for you before we go?
No fun plans for me at all. I did that all last week. Sorry, I missed you.
Yeah, where'd you go?
I just went to Palm Springs. Went and
Nice.
saw Bonnie Raitt in concert. And
That's awesome.
sat by
I'm not
the
gonna pretend like I listen to a lot of the music, but I'm glad you had fun listening to the music.
I'm aging myself with Bonnie Raitt, by the way.
It's okay. Sometimes, you know what? Tonight, after I lose money in the sports betting market, maybe I'll watch Golden Girls. Who knows? We'll see.
There you go. Hey,
go
I still get a
roll
good
all
laugh
life.
out of
You know what? I might actually just do that. Just go down memory lane. Maybe I'll have CC's with
right.
it as well. But
I just restarted Seinfeld, believe it or not, from the beginning.
wow.
And I still crack up.
That's awesome. All right. Well, hey, appreciate your time. Best of luck. We'll see you next Friday, chat. As always, thank you for hanging out with us. Have a great
Sounds
weekend.
great.
Take
Have
care.
a wonderful
Trading.
weekend. Bye-bye. Good luck on
Bye.
your sports betting.
Thank you.